Wipe away your tears. Greetings, everyone. Welcome in. This is Songs There, Health, Psychology, Beauty. My name is Ep.3. I am the owner and founder here at Songs There, Health, Psychology, Beauty, where we focus on those three factors: health, trichology, the study of the hair, the study of the scalp, hair losses, scalp disorders, scalp diseases, and of course, beauty. Okay? I'm a licensed master cosmetologist for the last 20 plus years. Okay? Specializing in the area of natural hair, predominantly locks. Okay? Welcome. This is episode 3 of Crown Conversations. Make me turn this music down a little bit. Okay. And this is Crown Conversations, where we speak about everything as it pertains to health and hair. Okay? Your crown. Okay? And this is episode 3 of Crown Conversations. Welcome in. Okay? On our last episode, we did discuss the hormonal system, the endocrine system, the glandular system. Okay? On our first Crown Conversations, we did discuss the nervous system, okay? We're going to go through all of the body systems because it's very important that we're educated on our bodies and why we may be seeing different symptoms show up in our hair, such as hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, or any types of dermatitis or psoriasis. We want to go to the root, which is our body. We want to educate ourselves on our intricate body systems and how they may be playing a part in what is going on in our hair, so we can address the root cause problems, okay, in a holistic way, okay? So today, on this episode of Crown Conversations, we're going to be discussing a very important factor in your health and your wellness. Any healing regimen, any regimen of wellness, we always want to start it with a cleanse and detox, okay? And for optimal health, we want to be cleansing throughout the whole of our lives, okay? There's things that we can do to detox on a daily basis, okay? And we want to implement cleansing and detoxing into our lifestyle, okay, so that our bodies can function at their best, okay? We live in a very polluted, toxic world, and we have a lot of pollutants and toxins in the foods that we consume, okay? So it's very important that we take the sacred time out to take time with ourselves and cleanse and detoxify our body throughout the different stages of life, okay? To keep ourselves as healthy as we possibly can in a very unhealthy environment, okay? Bless up everyone coming in. This is April E. Diggs. I am the owner here at Songs There, Health, Trichology, Beauty, and I work with persons who are experiencing scalp diseases, scalp disorders, hair loss and thinning, okay? I'm also a naturopath consultant, so I help persons restore their health by way of proper nutrition and herbal supplementation, okay? I'm also a product developer. As you can see, the product line behind me is called Return to Anagen, and these are specially formulated products for persons who are experiencing these different issues such as dermatitis, psoriasis, and different scalp disorders, alopecias, and also for ones who have their natural hair, have locks, okay? So welcome in. It's good to see you, okay? Today on Crown Conversations, we're going to be discussing cleansing, detoxification, okay? This is paramount and foundational in any healing regimen, okay? Okay, so come on in, everyone. Feel free to shout me out. You can wave. Okay, just let me know that you're here. If you do have any questions whatsoever as it pertains to your health and your hair, please feel free to ask. Okay, I'm going to be going through some different things here now, discussing cleansing and detoxification and how that pertains to hair health. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started right away. Okay, when people hear the word detox, they may think about fasting, juices, teas, powders, or a specific cleanse. But cleansing doesn't have to mean starving yourself or aggressively flushing your body. Your body already has natural elimination systems. The goal is to support those systems. Again, let me repeat that. The body already has natural elimination systems. The goal is to support those systems, not to replace them, okay? Because I'm a trichologist, I want to take this conversation one step further, okay? What does cleansing your body and detoxing your body have to do with hair and scalp health? Okay, just like I did say previously, cleansing and detoxing is foundational in any healing regimen, okay? Everything starts from your foundation, which is your core, which is your body, okay? And all of the organs that it takes for the body to properly function, okay? The scalp is living skin. The hair follicle is a living structure. And the follicle receives its nutrients through the body's circulation. Okay? The follicle receives its nutrients through the body's circulation. So today we're going to talk about daily cleansing habits. What is wheatgrass? A lot of people wonder what this is, wheatgrass, and how it's so beneficial to the body. What is the difference between wheatgrass and liquid chlorophyll? Okay? Cleansing herbs, foods that support elimination, hydration, fiber, and bowel regularity. How often should someone cleanse? Okay. The relationship between inflammation and the body and scalp health. And how I educate clients to get through a structured cleanse successfully. Okay. So more often than not, when you come in to see the trichologist, the first line of action is always going to be a reset. And a reset only happens by way of a cleanse and detox. Okay? So that is usually how we will start your healing program, your treatment plan. Okay? So that we can purge out the old material and re-invite new material into the body so that we can build the blood, okay? And once we build the blood, then we're also helping to build the hair fiber, okay? Welcome in, everyone. This is Songslayer, Health, Trichology, Beauty. This is Crown Conversations. This is episode 3. We are going to be speaking about detoxing and cleansing today and how that pertains to hair and scalp health. Okay. Okay, so first and foremost, your body does not need to be scrubbed clean. Okay. Your liver, kidneys, gastrointestinal tract, lungs, and skin are already involved in processing and eliminating substances that your body doesn't need. Okay. Again, the liver, the kidneys, the gastrointestinal tract, your lungs, and your skin are already involved in processing and eliminating substances your body doesn't need. So when I use the word cleansing, I am talking about supporting healthy habits that allow those systems to work properly, okay? So today we're going to be focusing on the excretory systems of the body, which involve the colon, kidney, liver, and the spleen, okay? Those are your excretory organs, okay? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, okay. Daily support for the body involves drinking adequate water, eating fiber-rich foods, eating vegetables and fruits, supporting regular bowel movements, limiting highly processed foods, reducing excessive added sugar, limiting alcohol consumption, eating adequate protein, getting regular physical activity, getting adequate sleep, reducing unnecessary exposure to smoke and harsh chemicals. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into understanding a cleanse and some of the benefits of a cleanse, okay? Okay, so we're going to cover a lot of ground today. And if you're not able to stick around for the entire live, no problem. You can simply go to my YouTube and you can go to Songs Lair, Health, Trichology, Beauty. And these lives will be there in totality. If there's any information that you need to get and you're not able to stay in the entire live today, you can always view the entirety of these lives on YouTube at Songs Lair, Health, Trichology, Beauty, okay? Today on episode 3 of Crown Conversations, we're discussing cleansing and detoxification for the body and how that pertains to hair and scalp health. Okay, let us continue. Okay, understanding the benefits of a cleanse. Okay, bless up everyone coming in. Feel free to shout me out. If you have any questions as it pertains to your hair, please feel free to ask me. Okay. There is an area of great misunderstanding and confusion in the nutrition field. It is the failure to understand and interpret the symptoms and changes that will occur after implementing an improved nutrition program. Okay, it seems like this music is a little loud still. Let me turn it down slightly. Okay. Okay, so right now we're reading and understanding the benefits of a cleanse, okay? What can be expected to happen when a marked improvement in diet is begun? Remarkable things begin to happen in the mind and body. When the quality of nutrition or food entering the body is higher quality than the quality of tissue the body is made of, the body intelligence senses this and begins to discard the lower grade materials and issues and begins reconstructing new cells and tissues with the superior elements provided. Okay, so let me break down that paragraph that we just did read. Okay, what I did say previously is it is foundational in any healing regimen to begin with a cleanse and detox, okay? Because whatever life habits you've had, whatever foods you've been consuming, that is what has created the disease up to this point, okay? So it is very important for us to reset the system, purge out the old material, and start feeding the body with new material after we've cleansed out the old material, okay? And as you can see here from this paragraph, the body's intelligence starts to reabsorb the new material and rebuild new cells, and the new cells create new tissues, okay? Let us continue. There will be signs or symptoms that are recognizable when lower grade food elements are eliminated and more alive, superior quality food elements are introduced into the body. If stimulant use such as caffeinated coffee, tea, or chocolate is discontinued, headaches may occur. This is because the body is discarding toxic residue of caffeine and herbarium. Sorry, I didn't say that right. heobromine, which the body is removing from its tissues and transporting through the bloodstream during its many circulatory rounds. Before these toxins reach the final destination for elimination, these irritating toxins may overwhelm the body's filtration system. Okay, so this explains why a lot of times when you do begin a cleanse and a fast, you will feel very much worse before you feel better. Okay, because the body is going through what's called a detoxification process. Okay, once the body has a certain toxic buildup, then once you start any detoxing, the body will start to react. Okay, and you will start to feel it. There will be different symptoms. Okay. This is because the body is discarding toxic residue of caffeine and transporting through the bloodstream during its many circulatory rounds before these toxins reach the final destination for elimination. These irritating toxins may overwhelm the body's filtration system. The process of cleansing, the process of removal and elimination out of the body is an incredible cleansing process that is desirable. Cleansing symptoms usually do not persist more than a few days, but can include, in addition to headaches, nausea, diarrhea, constipation, lethargy, or general malaise. Okay, so anyone who is here who has done a cleanse or a detox, okay, it is very normal that you would experience headaches, nausea, diarrhea, in some cases constipation, lethargy, being very fatigued, or just a general malaise, just a general feeling of not feeling so well. Okay, that's generally what tends to happen during the detoxing process. Okay, let us continue. The initial cleansing phase may last about 10 days on average, but may last as long as several weeks in very toxic individuals. Let's say that again. The initial cleansing phase may last about 10 days on average, but may last as long as several weeks in very toxic individuals. The body's vital energies that usually exist in the external areas of the body, such as muscles and skin, begin to shift to internal organs for the purpose of the reconstruction phase. This shifting of power to the internal region may produce a feeling of decreased energy in the muscles, and the mind may interpret this as weakness. Okay, so this, again, let me repeat this. This shifting of power to the internal region may produce a feeling of decreased energy in the muscles. Okay, so this is saying during the detoxification process, the energy starts to be transferred from the muscles to work on the internal organs. Okay, and this is where we might start to feel fatigue and weakness during our cleansing process. Okay, it's basically the energy being shifted to do the cleansing and healing on the vital organs. Okay, the body's vital energies that usually exist in the external areas of the body, such as muscles and skin, begin to shift to the internal organs. Yes, okay. Actually, power is probably increased, but that power is being used to rebuild and reconstruct important organs, and less energy is available for muscular function. Okay, so whosoever has done a cleanse before, you know this feeling, and you may have wondered what this means. This is simply the body's transferring its energy from the muscles into the vital organs to do its work. Okay, and this is where you start to feel the fatigue. Interesting feelings begin to appear as an improved diet and nutrition program gradually raises the quality of food in the daily diet. The body intelligence reasons something such as, oh, look at this superior material I can use. I can now get rid of all the old garbage and start to rebuild beautiful new cells and tissues. The body will begin immediately to eliminate excess bile from the liver and the gallbladder and send it to the intestines. It will also begin to move sludge from the arteries, veins, and capillaries. The smelly, gassy, brain stupefying masses that have been building up in the body will be eliminated. Arthritic deposits in and on the joints will be cleaned up. The toxic residue from irritating foods, preservatives, pharmaceuticals, aspirin, sleeping pills, and tobacco that have burdened the body for so long, along with masses of fat, will be eliminated. The first phase is called catabolism, and the process involves the elimination of or breaking down of tissue. This is the body's way of beginning to clean house. In short, to remove the garbage deposited in all the tissues. Waste materials will be discarded more rapidly than new tissue can be made from the new food and nutrients being supplied to the body. Other symptoms may also persist for a while, and then the second phase or stabilization will begin. Okay, so the first phase is catabolism. This is breaking down. This is the breaking down of the toxins stored in the tissues. Okay, so catabolism is the process of breaking down the waste and purging it out of the tissues. Okay, and then the body, after this phase, it goes into the second phase of the cleansing process, which is stabilization. During this second phase, the amount of waste material being discarded on a daily basis will be more equal to the amount of tissue that is being formed and replaced by newer, higher quality foods. This should occur after an excess of material in the tissues has been eliminated. This phase will persist for a while before being followed by a third phase, a period called anabolism. At this point, most of the waste will have been discarded. Okay, so the second period, we see the second phase of the cleansing process we see here is stabilization. And this is basically once we come from the first phase, which is catabolism, where the body has broken down all the toxins and purged them from the tissues. Then we go into the second phase of the cleansing process, which is stabilization. Stabilization is when the body is taking the new material and rebuilding the cells and rebuilding the tissues. The stabilization phase lasts for a while because it takes the body a while to rebuild, okay, those new cells, and in essence those new cells create those new tissues. Okay, so the stabilization process goes on for an extended amount of time after the breakdown of the toxins, which is the catabolism phase. Okay, from the second phase we go into the third phase, which is anabolism. Okay, the symptoms that will occur from a superior nutritional program could be a tendency to eliminate poisons or harmful drugs to the skin. People who have a tendency toward recurring skin rashes or eruptions will be most likely to experience this symptom. If they were to go at this point to a doctor who is not familiar with this aspect of nutrition, this condition may be diagnosed as an allergy. They may ask their physician, how is it that I'm eating better than ever before and I seem to be developing skin problems? The doctor and the patient simply don't understand the body's process of retracing. The body is becoming more alive and more active and is throwing out the poisons very rapidly. Okay, so see it here. Okay, our skin is our largest organ. It is the largest excretory organ on the body. Okay, hence we have a lot of sweat glands all over our body that is secreting waste. Okay, Once you begin a cleansing program, you may experience flare-ups, rashes, outbreaks, different skin eruptions, okay? This is simply the body's way of purging out the toxins in the body, okay? So this is a very normal part of the cleansing process. Persons who have different issues such as dermatitis and psoriasis, okay? It is very normal. Even if you have began a healing regimen, you have began cleansing, detoxing, you have began starting to eat better, you still may have some residuals coming out through the skin as the body is still realigning itself, okay? So that is a very normal part of the process. This does not mean stop what you're doing. This does not mean revert. This does not mean you need to go and get a whole heap of something to put on this. This means that you need to continue the healing process, okay? You need to continue your cleansing, and you need to continue with your healthy way of living. Healthy way of eating. Okay, greetings everyone coming in. It's good to see you. This is April E. Diggs. This is Songs There, Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we focus on those three factors. This is Crown Conversations. This is our third episode now, and today we're discussing cleansing and detoxing, how this pertains to scalp and hair health, okay? I am also a product developer. This is the Return to Antigen product line here, okay? These are specially formulated products designed for persons who are experiencing seborrheic dermatitis, any forms of alopecias, and for persons who have locks and natural hair, okay? These are special formulas designed just for this, okay? And so today we're discussing cleansing and detoxing, okay? We want to go through all of the body systems. We really want to understand the body, because a lot of people are having these different issues show up in their scalp and hair that they do not know. Let us connect the dots. Let us learn about our intricate, intelligent bodies, okay? And what systems may be out of line. What may be out of alignment. What is causing this to show up in your scalp and hair, okay? Remember, once you're seeing anything show up in your scalp or hair, it is most certainly telling you something is going on internally, okay? All right, let us continue. Please feel free to ask any questions as it pertains to hair and health, okay? Understand that these symptoms are constructive even though they may be unpleasant, okay? So just like I did say, this is absolutely part of the cleansing process. So understand that these symptoms are constructive even though they may be unpleasant, and there are a lot of unpleasant symptoms that come about from cleansing. Everyone's bodies is different. Everyone has a different toxic load, okay? So some people fare worse than others, okay? But it's very important that you move through that process so the body can get to a place of wellness. It's just like someone who is addicted to a hard, let's say a hard drug, and they go in for treatment. They go in for a detoxification. Their body is going to go through a lot of different issues, a lot of withdrawal, okay? And there's going to be a lot of not so pleasant changes that go on in that process before the body gets to a better place and actually purges itself from the drug, okay? So it's the same way with the detoxification and cleansing process. Once you've been used to eating a certain way and having certain habits, the body is used to that and builds up a toxic buildup, okay? So once you go in and you start to make shifts and changes, you're absolutely going to have some symptoms behind that, okay? Even though they may be unpleasant, but do not try to stop these symptoms because they are part of the healthy process. Cleansing symptoms do not indicate deficiencies or allergies as a rule, okay? Symptoms will vary according to the kinds of toxic, poisonous materials being discarded from the body. The symptoms experienced will depend on the condition of the organs involved in elimination and the amount of physical energy that is available to complete this process. The more an individual can rest and sleep, the more tolerable the symptoms will be. Be happy you're having these symptoms. Realize that your body can become healthier each day as you throw off and eliminate the waste and poisons that would eventually have brought disease or even pain and suffering. Okay, let me read that again because that was a powerful sentence right there. The more an individual can rest and sleep, okay, so you notice anytime that you do a cleanse or a detox, you may feel a little fatigued or weak because we just did learn previously the energy is taken away from your muscles and goes into those vital organs to begin the healing process, so the body may start to feel fatigued and weak. Okay, it is very important that while you are doing a cleanse or a detox, you rest, okay, and let the body heal. Okay, we know say anytime we get sick or we catch cold or anything like this, we have to go to our bed. Okay, so we have to stay in our bed until we're well enough again. Why? Because the body needs to rest so that it can build itself back up and restore. Okay, so it's the same way to get through a successful cleanse and detox. We want to rest the body, okay, during that process. Okay, and we know that the only times that the cells regenerate is actually when the body is sleeping and resting. Okay, so this would naturally make sense. Okay, let us continue. So it says, be happy if you're having symptoms. Okay, as you throw off and eliminate the waste and poisons that would eventually have brought disease or even pain and suffering. Okay, so this is a powerful sentence right here, because cleansing and detoxing is what I would call a part of preventative measures. Okay, so once you are purging and cleansing the body of toxins, okay, this can help to alleviate from these issues turning into diseases over time. Okay, so cleansing and detoxing is a good way to manage your health. Okay, those who have the worst symptoms or reactions and follow through to successful cleansing may be avoiding some very serious diseases that would eventually have developed had they continued their poor dietary habits. Okay, so we can see a lot of the different issues, health issues that ones do have. We can see that it is an accumulation over time of bad eating habits or bad habits as a whole. Okay, as your body becomes more and more healthy, even if you become sick, illness should be shorter in duration, followed by longer and longer periods of wellness until you reach a level plateau of vibrant health. Let us give ourselves this chance to experience just what it means to be healthy and fully alive. Okay, so that was wonderful. Okay, so today we're discussing cleansing and detox. This is episode 3 of Crown Conversations. My name is April E. Diggs. I am the owner here at Songslayer Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we focus on those 3 factors. Health, okay, I'm a naturopath consultant. I help to restore one's health by way of proper nutrition and herbal supplementation. Okay, Trichology. I'm a certified trichologist focusing in the areas of hair loss, thinning, scalp diseases, scalp disorders. Okay? And beauty. I am a master cosmetologist of 20 plus years. Okay? Specializing in the areas of natural hair, predominantly locks. Okay? Let's keep moving further. We just did cover the benefits of a cleanse, okay? And we learned those three different stages: catabolism, stabilization, anabolism, okay? Catabolism, when the body is purging out, getting rid of all the old toxins, cleaning out the tissues. Stabilization, once we start to feed the body again with the new material, the healthy material, the tissues and cells take on to the new material and start building better tissues, okay? Tissues are basically cells create tissues, tissues create organs, okay? And then we have anabolism, okay? Okay, so let's keep moving forward here. I want to go into the colon, okay? We're going to break down these different bodies, these different excretory systems of the body. Colon, kidney, liver, spleen, okay? Let's get into what the colon is, okay? It's very important that we educate ourselves on the body systems, okay? Because one of these body systems is why you're having this issue in your hair, okay? So it's very important that we understand what's going on with the body, how the body works, so we can connect the dots so that we can create a new story, okay? It's very hard to create a new story when you doesn't know what's going on, okay? Okay, so we're going to discuss the first excretory system, which is the colon, okay? And here we are. This is the Trichology Bible here. And we're going to refer to this section here. Let me just locate it. Okay. And today we're talking about cleansing and detoxing and how this pertains to hair health and health in general, okay? So let's go ahead and read this. This is the intestinal system, okay? Let's see how the intestinal system works. After food leaves the small intestine, it moves into the large intestine or colon. A muscular tube about 5 feet in length and approximately 2 inches in diameter, coiled into frame around the convoluted small intestine. Waste material is forced through the colon by the action of the muscles. It then exits the body through the rectum. The colon has 3 main parts: the ascending, transverse, and descending colons. Okay, again, let me say that because a lot of people don't know this. The colon has 3 main parts: the ascending, the transverse, and the descending colons. Since much of the digestion process has already taken place, what enters the colons is mostly material in liquid form, okay? Since much of the digestion process has already taken place, when what enters into the colon is mostly material waste in liquid form, okay? So this means that a lot of people don't know this. Once the food goes through the stomach, okay, before it reaches the colon, it's pretty much liquefied, okay? As the colon contracts, this substance is pushed along its length. Most of the water and minerals, salts in the liquid are reabsorbed back into the body. Okay, as the colon contracts, this substance is pushed along its length. Most of the water and mineral salts in the liquid are reabsorbed back into the body. What remains is a semi-solid waste, 60 to 70% water and 10 to 30% bacteria plus indigestible cellulose material, dead cells, and other waste materials. Okay. So basically what this is saying is once the waste reaches the colon, it's liquefied, okay? But the body reabsorbs 60 to 70% of that liquid back into the body. And then what is left is 10 to 30% bacteria and indigestible cellulose material and dead cells and other waste materials, okay? So that's where we get the solid bowel movement, okay? It is after the water has been reabsorbed back into the body, okay? Most of the water and mineral salts, okay? So most of the water and mineral salts are reabsorbed back into the body, okay? The process of elimination takes anywhere from 12 to 24 hours or longer. Okay, so the process of elimination takes 12 to 24 hours or even longer. Generally, the shorter the time, the better. Okay, unfortunately, modern diets and health habits sometimes result in greatly increased transit times. As transit times increase, the stool becomes increasingly hardened and difficult to pass due to dehydration. Moreover, as the body reabsorbs the fluids content of the feces, it also absorbs many soluble toxins. Okay. Moreover, as the body reabsorbs the fluid content of the feces, it also absorbs many soluble toxins. Okay, so this is very important because generally we're supposed to have a bowel movement after every meal. Okay, most people don't have that. Okay, and it is because of the quality of foods that we're consuming. Okay, so that's why it's better if you have more frequent bowel movements, but a lot of people don't have frequent bowel movements. Okay, what this does is the longer that the feces is in the colon, it starts to harden and solidify, making it harder to pass through. Okay, and this is by way of the foods that we consume. Okay, so when we eat a better quality of foods and hydrating foods, fiber-rich foods, all of these things help foods to pass through the colon faster and better without experiencing what a lot of us suffer from is constipation. Okay, not having regular bowel movements, and this is partially why. Okay. Okay, let us continue. Welcome in, everyone. This is Songs There, Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we focus on those three factors: health, trichology, the study of the hair, scalp diseases, scalp disorders, scalp issues, okay, and then also beauty, okay, holistic beauty. Okay, factors in colon health. People whose diets are high in refined foods, including sugar and white flour, and low in fiber content, such as meat, eggs, and dairy products, are especially susceptible to intestinal problems. Okay, let me repeat that again. People whose diets are high in refined foods and low in fiber content, these people are especially susceptible to intestinal problems. In fact, colon and rectal disorders are much more common in America than Africa. where the average diet contains 7 times as much fiber as in the US. See it there? So a lot of times, this is what I do say. Okay? Even though America is a more developed country, we can see that there's much more sick people here. Okay? Because of the quality of food. Okay? So we would consider Africa to not be as developed as America. But see it here? The African diet contains 7 times more fiber in the food than the US, okay? And then you will see a lot of people in the US experience a lot of colon issues, a lot of constipation, okay? Heavily processed food consumption that's backing up the colon system from working and eliminating properly, okay? Since we know this, when we live in unhealthy environments with heavily processed foods, it's very important for us to make a concerted effort to feed ourselves in the most healthy way and to be very selective about the foods that we consume, okay? The colon works best when it's moderately full. Dietary fiber fills this need. Although it contains no nutrients, fiber helps promote good health by providing the necessary bulk to encourage timely movement of fecal material through the colon. Okay, let me say this again, because a lot of people do not understand the importance of fiber, okay? Although it contains no nutrients, speaking of fiber, fiber helps promote good health by providing the necessary bulk, to encourage timely movement of fecal material through the colon, okay? So basically the fiber goes in and bulks up in the colon to help that muscle move waste through, okay? That's why fiber is so very important. As this happens, certain toxic materials are removed along with many times the fiber weight in water. This is important because it helps maintain bowel regularity and shortens the time toxic materials remain in the body. Okay, so the fiber is so very important, not just because it helps the muscle to move the waste through, but it shortens the time that waste sits in the body, okay? And why is that important? Because a lot of times we will experience persons who have what we call halitosis, okay? A very, very bad breath. A lot of times we will get around persons and we will smell toxins coming through their skin. Okay, this is because too much waste is sitting in the colon for too long, okay, and it starts to come out in other ways. So the shorter time the waste can sit in your body, the better, okay? This is why consuming fiber is so very important. Okay, welcome in everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Crown Conversations. Today we're discussing detoxification, cleansing, and how this pertains to hair and scalp health. Okay. These are two basic types. There are two basic types of fiber: soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber includes pectin, gums, and some cellulose. Fruits, vegetables, seeds. Okay, let me be slow when I say this because I want people to really hear this part of fiber sources, okay? Fruits. Sorry, one second here. Okay. Fiber sources: fruits, vegetables, seeds, brown rice, barley, and oats are sources of soluble fiber. Again, fruits, vegetables, seeds, brown rice, barley, and oats are sources for soluble fibers. Now, there are more sources of fiber, but these are some really good basic ones, okay? Soluble fiber works mainly by helping to produce a softer stool. It also chemically prevents or reduces the absorption of certain substances into the bloodstream. That is very important, okay? Because a lot of times toxins can get reabsorbed into the bloodstream, okay? Toxins can get reabsorbed into the bloodstream. So fiber actually counteracts that. Sorry, hold on one second here. Let's fix this. There we go. Okay. So fiber helps with this. It helps to get waste out of the body faster. It helps to move waste through the body. Okay. And then it also counteracts toxins being reabsorbed in the bloodstream. Okay, so we definitely want fiber in our diets, okay? It's very fundamental, okay? It's just as important as us eating. Yes, we need to eat and feed our body, but elimination is just as important as feeding our body, okay? If we are not eliminating properly, we do not feel good, okay? And it is a very low vibration and a very low quality of life when we are not eliminating properly, okay? So it's a holistic unit. We want to eat healthy so that we can eliminate properly. Okay, you see how that works? Insoluble fiber includes cellulose, some hemocellulose, lignin, whole grains, and the outside of seeds, fruits, legumes, and other foods are the main sources for insoluble fiber, which works like a sponge, absorbing many times its weight in water and swelling up inside the intestines. The result is more efficient elimination. Okay, so it says whole grains and the outside of seeds, fruits, legumes, and other foods are the main sources for insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber works like a sponge, absorbing many times its weight in water and swelling up inside the intestines. When this insoluble fiber swells up in the intestines, the result is a more efficient elimination. Okay, so that would make sense. This is your intestines. The insoluble fiber is inside and swells up, causing that muscle to contract, making elimination much easier through the colon walls. When extra fiber is added to the diet, it is important that extra fluids also be added. If not, the beneficial effects can be diminished as the added fiber actually slows down or even blocks proper intestinal elimination. Spreading out fiber intake is also suggested to help ease any unpleasant side effects that may occur at the start of a new fiber-rich dietary regimen. Okay, so this is basically saying that when you do consume your fiber, you want to make sure that you're properly hydrating the body, okay? Because too much fiber and not enough hydration, then the swelling of the fiber in the colon can get stuck, okay? So we want to have the proper hydration for the fiber to be able to move through and be fluid enough to move through, okay? Also, this is stating that, so I do have a lot of clients that come in and they have not eaten healthy their whole lives, okay? So it can be a shock to their system to shift that diet, okay? Once they're used to eating certain foods and then we switch it to high fiber foods, that can be a shock to the system. So as this paragraph is stating, that we may want to take it slowly and incrementally when we introduce a new fiber-rich diet, okay? So that we can work the body up to being used to the fiber that it's intaking, okay? Exercise also plays a role in the health of the intestinal system. Without sufficient exercise, bowel action may be slowed down and the normal circulation in the digestive system reduced. Okay, so this is emphasizing the importance of movement, okay, in order for our colon to eliminate properly. We want our fiber, we want our water, but what do we need on top of that? We need the body to be moving, okay? Let us continue. Okay, beneficial bacteria. In addition to eating sufficient amounts of fiber, it is important to maintain a good supply of beneficial bacteria, as lactobacillus and acidophilus. Unlike bacteria which causes disease, L. acidophilus is extremely helpful. It produces digestive enzymes and assists in the final processing of foods. It also produces important vitamins such as vitamin K and the B vitamins, B12, thiamine, and riboflavin, and helps inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria. Very, very important, okay? So we see here these are beneficial bacteria that are very important for the colon system, okay? These produce digestive enzymes and assist in the final processing of foods. And a lot of people may not be familiar with what enzymes are, but enzymes help to break down the food, okay? So once the body goes in, we need assistance to help break that food down so that it's ready for elimination, the waste part of that food, okay? And that's where the digestive enzymes come in, okay? Because a lot of times you'll see ones who have a cleansing program, and it may be a very harsh cleanse, and so after the cleanse, they need to replenish with that good bacteria, with those probiotics, okay? Because this aids the digestive system in breaking down and eliminating the waste, okay? This also helps inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria. Unfortunately, naturally occurring lactobacillus can be destroyed by a course of antibiotic treatments, okay? Okay, so that's very important information there, because we see anytime, maybe if we're having some work done and we go to the doctor and the doctor prescribes us some antibiotics, that is what we call bad bacteria, okay? So that's going to get rid of all of the good bacteria, okay? So that has to be replenished. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here with this light. My apologies. Okay, hope everyone's feeling lovely this evening. What is this, Wednesday? Give thanks for the roses, Royal Petals. Give thanks, okay? That's so very sweet of you. Okay, and we are on episode 3 of Crown Conversations, okay? We're talking about cleansing and detoxing. How does this pertain to hair and scalp health? Okay? And we're connecting the dots. How does my body and the different issues that I may experience internally, How is this showing up in my hair and scalp? What is my hair and scalp telling me about what's going on with my body? And how can we address these issues holistically, okay? So we are discussing cleansing and detoxing, as this is foundational in any cleansing and in any health regimen, okay? We always want to start by way of cleansing and detoxing the body, getting rid of the old material so that we can re-invite the new material in, okay? So we just did discuss the colon, okay, and how the colon works. This book here, this is Colon Cleansing for Optimum Health, okay? Dr. Brenda Cobbs, okay? It's just a little pamphlet, but it's very powerful, okay? And it's just solely dedicated to the colon. And we're just going to read a little bit here from what Dr. Cobb is saying about cleansing for optimal health. And this stood out to me. Let's read this part first. Okay, your body needs attention to keep it healthy and running well. Think of your body like you would your home. If the roof leaks or the plumbing gets clogged, you would take the necessary measures to get it repaired. Do you give your body the same attention that you give your home? Your body is the home of your spirit, and if you don't take care of it, then who will? Excellent question. Okay, excellent question. If you don't take care of your body, who will? Just like the home that you reside in, if you don't clean your home, take care of it, do the necessary repairs, who else will? Is someone else coming in? Bless up yourself, my little sister. Mwah, heart of love. Good to see you, Nika Boo. Okay, who else is going to take care of your home besides you? Mwah, 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 mwah. Okay, so that is a good example there, okay? You have to do the repairs and the cleaning on your home. It's the same for your body. No one else is responsible for it. You reside in your body, so you're responsible for its health, okay? Okay? Your body is the home of your spirit, and if you don't take care of it, then who will? Okay, let's sit with that for a minute. The body is the home of your spirit, okay? So we know that the spirit is the great animator of all living flesh, correct? Okay? So wouldn't it make sense, if we want our spirit to be at its optimum best, that it resides in the best home? Okay? That it resides in a home that is healthy and vibrant and active, so the spirit can carry out its best assignment, okay? It's very hard to have an uplifted spirit inside of a decaying, sick body, okay? So if we want our spirit, which is the animator of all life, to work at its best, then we want to take care of our home. We want to take care of our body, okay? Okay. The food that you put into your body is either helping or hurting. Good nutrition helps to restore, rebuild, and repair your body's cells and tissues. Again, let me repeat that because that is so very important. Good nutrition helps to restore, rebuild, and repair your body's cells and tissues. Powerful. Poor nutrition causes deterioration and illness. Again, let me say that. Poor nutrition causes deterioration and illnesses. It is so important to pay attention to the food you eat and to do your best to put good food in so you can get the good result of perfect health. Okay, one moment. Let me just complete this puzzle here. Channel Star. Okay. Some of the best foods available are organic, raw, and living foods. When you eat foods that doesn't digest properly and it sits in the colon, it can ferment and cause lots of problems. No matter how good your diet is, if your colon is clogged with old waste, then you can't assimilate the nutrition in good food. Powerful. Okay, this is so important here. This is what I tell my clients all the time. Okay, you cannot expect to come in after you've been eating a lot of processed foods and expect to just start eating healthy, okay, and everything's gonna work out great. Okay, because we want to rid the body of that toxic overload, okay? So the body can assimilate and absorb, okay? A lot of times when we have a high toxic buildup, even if we do start a new regimen and start implementing healthier things into our living, we still have an issue because we still have cloggages and blockages that need to be addressed, okay? So that's why it's so very important when you are changing the way you eat, when you are reintroducing new things to your body, that you get rid of the old material so the body can absorb and assimilate. Okay? All right, let us continue with this. Leaky gut syndrome is a perfect example of the damage that can be done from leaving waste in the colon. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with leaky gut syndrome, but pretty much leaky gut is when too much waste has been building up in the colon. It has nowhere to go. It's not eliminating properly. So where does it go? It starts to leak through the colon walls and goes back into the bloodstream. This causes a lot of problems in the body. Okay, a lot of people have this issue. When waste products sit in the colon, let's see here. When waste products sit in the colon, they can actually burn holes in the colon wall. Then when a person eats, the waste products from digesting the food can actually seep right through the colon wall into the body cavity. As you can imagine, this is very dangerous. Many other colon problems are caused by this same thing. Toxic waste sitting in and clogging up the colon. Not just colon cancer, but irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, and other colon diseases begin when the colon is not able to eliminate properly and regularly. Headaches and allergies, even aches and pains can be caused excuse me, from a toxic colon. Okay? This is so very important, okay? Because so much persons are experiencing colon issues, okay? So many of my clients are experiencing constipation, okay? So this is why, okay? So we definitely need to address this, okay? Because like the paragraph is saying, it is very dangerous once you're not eliminating properly, and then these toxins can burn a hole through the colon wall and actually deposit back into the body, okay? And this is where you'll begin to see people with a lot of skin eruptions, a lot of skin problems, eczemas, all kinds of acne, all of these different things stemming from, not only from, but a very huge factor is leaky gut, okay? And this is because the body is not eliminating properly. Okay, let us continue. I understand how embarrassing this can be for some people, because when I first heard about cleaning out my colon with enemas and colonics, I freaked out. I said, I'll never do that. Absolutely no way. I agreed to eat raw and living foods to help my body, but I refused to clean out my colon. I was quite resistant, but I finally gave in. Boy, am I glad I did. It was amazing all of the stuff that came out of my body. I had no idea that undigested food could become hard and impacted in my colon. I didn't realize that even if I was eating well, that my body wasn't assimilating the vitamins and minerals because my colon was so impacted. Okay? I lost over 20 pounds of impacted waste in just 2 weeks. Now, that's not body fat I'm talking about, but just solid waste. It is not unusual for people to lose between 5 and 25 pounds during the first 10 days of my living lifestyle course. Obviously, this is not fat, but fecal waste. If you're thinking that's too much weight to lose in such a short time, think again. Every day impacted waste sits in your body is another day of the body becoming sicker. This program is designed to clean out the colon quickly so that the body can begin to nourish and rebuild itself right away. This is why so many people experience fast results with this program. They get the impacted waste out so that the nutrients from the food can do their work. Okay. Let's go down to this bottom paragraph because this really stood out to me. When you eat foods like pasta, crackers, bread, cakes, pies, or anything made with flour and water, it's like eating glue. Remember when you learned to mix flour and water together in school and make a paste with it? You could stick a picture up on a wall and it would get hard as a rock and never fall again. That picture would be permanently glued to the wall. That's the same thing that happens in the colon when you eat anything made with flour and water. The glue becomes stuck and lodged in your colon, and after a while it becomes hard and forms something called mucoid plaque. This plaque can become so thick and hard that when it is eliminated from the colon, it is difficult to cut with scissors or a knife. Now that's some hard stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that. A lot of people don't know this or realize this. Okay? Once you consume foods such as pasta, crackers, breads, cookies, cakes, pies, or anything made with flour and water, it's like eating glue, okay? Bless up yourself, Ijavan. Bless up yourself. Give thanks for the flowers. Give thanks for the roses, okay? Okay. So these foods become like glue in the colon, stuck to the colon walls, okay? And they become what's called mucoid plaque, okay? And it's very hard to eliminate this from the body, but it's very important to eliminate this from the body. Why? Because the foods that we are changing to, we want to be able to assimilate and absorb them, okay? So it's very important that we eliminate this mucoid plaque from the colon walls. It's also important that we understand that these foods, crackers, cakes, breads, these turn into mucoid plaques in the colon walls, okay? Just like it did give you the example when we were in grade school and we had to put the flour with the water and we could actually make glue from that. That's exactly what happens once these foods enter into your colon, okay? So it's very important that we cut down the consumption of these foods, or that we do not consume these foods at all, okay? And we eat foods that are high in fiber, and we consume lots of water, okay? And that we get movement, okay? This is the way to keep the colon working properly, okay? Okay, let's continue. So the food that you're putting in your body is either helping or hurting you, okay? Okay, she also states that she lost 20 pounds of impacted waste in 2 weeks, okay, from cleaning out the colon. So a lot of people would be surprised to know this, but your colon is a very large organ, and it can hold a lot, okay? So it's not surprising that she had 20 pounds of impacted waste sitting in her colon. And can you only imagine how she felt when she got rid of this impacted waste in her colon? How much freer her body temple felt? How much better she felt once she eliminated that? Let's ask ourselves, are we walking around with impacted waste in our colons? Are we clogged up? Are we locked up? Is it diminishing our quality of life? Is it causing issues for us? Are we eating healthy and we're not understanding why we're not feeling better? This may be the culprit. We may need to clean out the colon from years and years of impacted waste of eating these types of foods that cause mucoid plaques. Okay? Welcome in, everyone. It's good to see you. This is April E. Diggs, owner and founder here at Songs There Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we cover those 3 different factors: health, trichology, the study of the hair, the scalp disorders, scalp diseases, and beauty, okay? I am a master cosmetologist of the last 20 plus years. I'm also a product developer. This is the Return to Anagen product line. This line is specially formulated for persons experiencing scalp disorders, scalp diseases, hair loss, thinning, okay? I have taken the guesswork out for you so you don't have to scramble your senses going to the beauty supplies or searching for products for whatever your issue is. I have different formulas here based on what I see different conditions and symptoms are, okay? So feel free to ask me any questions as it pertains to your hair. And if you're not able to watch this live to its entirety, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel. You can view the entire live there at Songs There Health, Trichology, Beauty. This is Crown Conversations, and this is episode 3 of Crown Conversations, and we're discussing cleansing and detoxing, how it pertains to hair and scalp health. Okay. Even very slender people have between 5 and 30 pounds of this stuff in their colon. Amazing as it may seem, it is true. I've seen very thin people in awe of this. They can't believe that this waste is inside them. People are flabbergasted when they see just how much they've been holding on to. Emotions are held in all this waste too. So when you get rid of it, you can help heal the emotions. Powerful. Okay? How many of us have so many emotional issues, so much trauma, so many different issues? We don't understand what's going on. We don't understand why we're not feeling good, why we're not feeling ourselves. Okay? Why we constantly walk around in a state of malaise, not feeling all the way well, okay? It could very well have to do with your colon, okay? As this paragraph states, the emotional traumas store inside of the waste in your colon, okay? So if you're not eliminating properly, then that means that all of the trauma, all of the bad negative emotions, those are also being housed in your colon as well, okay? So when we eliminate and get rid of that, we improve our overall health, well-being, okay? And that also is inclusive of our mental health. Okay, I see now I'm gonna have to get a different light because this one want to give me problems. All right, let us continue with this. We're talking about the colon. We're talking about cleansing and detoxing. Okay, we're almost done with the colon. We're gonna go into the liver after this. Okay, it's very important that we understand all of the body systems. Okay, because this is where we find the root causes of what's showing up in our scalp in here. Once we see any issues coming in our scalp in here, we know that our body is trying to tell us something. It's trying to tell us there's something going on internally, okay? So we don't want to band-aid the situation. We want to go directly to the root issue, address it, realign it, rebalance it, and that is when we will start to get hair restoration, okay? The reason that the average body does not eliminate after every meal is that the digestion and assimilation in most people is pretty much shut down. Let me read that again. The reason that the average body does not eliminate after every meal is that the digestion and assimilation in most people is pretty much shut down. This is because of the poor diet that most people eat and the stress that they are under. Okay, so we always hear you're supposed to eliminate after every meal. You're supposed to eliminate after. Most people do not. Okay, and this clarifies because of poor diet. Okay. And the stress that we're under. And when the body is under the stress, none of the body's organs work and function as they should, okay? With all the cooked dead food, the preservatives, additives, and chemicals, the body has become overtaxed and sluggish. Let me read that again. With all of the cooked dead food, the preservatives, additives, and chemicals, the body has become overtaxed and sluggish. The average person can't even digest a simple sprout salad. If you've ever looked in the toilet after a bowel movement and seen the undigested particles of food, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay? All right, let's get into the dangers of the mucoid plaque, okay? Mucoid plaque coming from consuming foods such as crackers, breads, cakes, anything that contains flour and water, okay? This basically becomes like a glue in the colon walls and actually hardens like a plaque on the walls and can cause a lot of blockages in the colon, okay? You know the damage that plaque can do to your teeth and your arteries? Well, now you have something else to consider. The mucoid plaque in your colon is prohibiting your colon from functioning properly and from assimilating the nutrients from the food. That's a big reason why people feel tired and run down and become susceptible to colds, flu, and other opportunistic diseases. A sluggish colon produces a sluggish immune system. Powerful. Okay? A lot of people don't know this, that your immune system is housed in your gut. Your immune system is housed in your stomach, okay? So if your colon, your digestive tract is not working properly, then this can breed a lot of sicknesses, okay? Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this colon. I hope that if you're having a hard time with the ideal of cleaning out your colon, that you will reconsider and open your mind to this information. I know from experience in having trained thousands of people in the living foods lifestyle that people who grasp the ideal of cleaning out the colon, who actually do it, make much faster progress and restoring health, energy, and vitality. Those who refuse to do so stay sick and get sicker. Okay? If you're wondering what the difference in colonics and enemas are, here goes. A colonics is performed by a professional colon hydrotherapist using a special colonic machine which allows clean water to be put into the colon through one tube and waste to flow out of another tube. These are not big tubes and they don't hurt. Don't be afraid. When getting a colonic, you can just lay back and relax. The colon hydrotherapist does all the work. Your job is just to relax and let go. Did you know that emotions are held in and impacted waste in the colon? Okay. So impacted waste, that means waste that is not eliminating from the body, waste that is sitting in the colon longer than it's supposed to. Did you know that emotions are held in impacted waste? That is another reason that cleansing the colon is so important. It helps a person to release the emotions and feelings that have been buried deep within the colon walls. These emotions are behind all illness and diseases. A person cannot truly heal until they heal the spirit and mind along with the body. Colonics and enemas are absolutely necessary in the healing process. Okay, now let's just discuss what an enema is briefly. Okay, an enema is something that can be done at home or traveling anywhere in the world. All you need is an enema bag and catheter and some reverse osmosis or highly filtered water, and you're in business. It doesn't take long, and it makes such a difference in the way you feel. Doing colonics and enemas will actually strengthen the colon, which is a muscle. The colon will become stronger and stronger as you clean it out. Pretty soon you will be experiencing more frequent bowel movements on your own and will see what it's like to have a normally functioning colon. If you would like to learn more, okay, so we're going to stop there. Okay, so these are some different ways to clean the colon by way of enema or colonics. Okay, colonics is something that is professionally done by a hydrotherapist, and you go in and there is a machine that is used and inserted into the rectum, and all you do is just lay back and relax while the colonics flows through your colon and clears out the waste. Okay, an enema is something that can be done with an enema bag and a catheter by yourself at home. It's a much smaller device, so there's less water that would go into the colon, but nevertheless it also is very effective and very helpful because as you can see here, negative emotions get stored in the waste that gets built up in the colons. Okay, so a lot of times persons suffering from depression, suffering from all kinds of different mental health issues, all kinds of emotional issues, a lot of times it stems to their colon, the food that they've been taking and the negative emotions that are actually backed up and stored in their colon. Okay, give me just one moment. Okay, so let us continue here. So we just did cover the colon, how the colon works, the foods that we consume, how they can become mucoid plaque, how the body is not able to properly assimilate and absorb its nutrients once the colon is in fact backed up. Okay? And some of the ways that we can get an optimal working colon: fiber-rich foods, consuming a lot of water, and movement, exercise, okay? So now we're going to go into the next excretory organ of the body, which is the liver. Okay? And give me just a moment. Let me locate this part here where I want to read about the liver. Okay? Welcome in, everyone. This is Songs There, Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we focus on those three factors. Health, okay? Naturopath. I'm a naturopath consultant, so I help persons restore their health by way of proper nutrition and herbal supplementation, okay? Trichology. Okay, I help persons experiencing hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, and scalp diseases. Okay, and beauty. I am a master cosmetologist of the last 25 plus years, specializing in the areas of natural hair care and predominantly locks. I'm also a product developer. This is the Return to Antigen product line you see behind me. Okay, these are specially formulated products designed to help persons experiencing hair loss, scalp diseases, scalp disorders, and for persons who have natural hair and locks. Okay, I have different formulas based on different symptoms that I have seen in my years of practice to address those issues. Okay. All right, let's see. We want to go into the liver now. Let's go ahead and go here. Let's see, that's continued. And so we want to go into, okay, these are some cleansing herbs. Okay, so let's talk about, so we did just cover the colon. Let's see if I missed anything. The colon is a major portion of the large intestine. Food doesn't simply travel from the stomach straight into the colon. First, the small intestine absorbs most nutrients. The remaining material moves into the large intestine, the colon. The colon absorbs water, helps form stool, houses a large population of gut microorganisms, moves stool toward the rectum, participates in fermentation of certain undigested carbohydrates / fiber. Eventually, colon to rectum to anus, then stool leaves the body. That is the process. Okay, the large intestine absorbs water and changes digestive waste into stool, which is stored in the rectum until elimination. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go into the liver. The liver, the processing center. Okay, please feel free if you do have any questions. You can simply just type it in the chat as it pertains to health and hair. This is such a nice song. I love this song. All right, so let's see here. The liver, the processing center. This is probably the most important organ to explain during a detox episode. The liver does much more than detoxification. It processes nutrients absorbed from the digestive tract, makes bile, stores certain nutrients, processes medications and other substances, helps regulate metabolism, makes important blood proteins, processes substances that ultimately can be eliminated through bile, urine, or other routes. The liver makes bile, which helps digest fats. Bile travels through the bile ducts and can be stored in the gallbladder before being released into the small intestine. Okay, so this is a much simpler way to explain it. The liver doesn't need to be scrubbed. It needs us to start overwhelming it and give the body adequate nutrition and hydration to perform its normal functions. Okay, again, the liver needs adequate nutrition and proper hydration, and it needs to stop being overwhelmed and overloaded. That is okay. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about how the liver impacts hair health. Okay? The liver impacts hair health by processing vital nutrients, balancing hormones, and filtering toxins. When liver function declines, the body shifts resources away from non-essential tasks like hair growth, often leading to diffuse thinning, weaker strands, or increased shedding. How does the liver affect hair growth? Nutrient storage. The liver stores and distributes key hair building blocks like iron, zinc, vitamin B12, and fat-soluble vitamins A and D. So the liver stores and distributes key hair building blocks such as iron, zinc, vitamin B12, and vitamin A and D. So very important, okay? A lot of people do not know this. The liver is what houses these vital nutrients, okay, that the hair needs. Okay, also protein metabolism. Why is this so very important? Because the hair is just fibrous protein. The building blocks of hair is protein, okay? Those bonds, those amino acids, they create the protein that creates the hair fiber, okay? So protein is fundamental when it comes to hair. The liver is responsible for protein metabolism. Your hair is made of keratin, protein. The liver breaks down dietary protein into amino acids and rebuilds them for use throughout the body. Okay, so just like I just did say, those amino acids create those bonds that create the protein. Okay, this is why the liver is so important when it comes to hair health. Hormone regulation. The liver helps metabolize and clear sex hormones. Liver stress can disrupt this balance, altering androgen levels that influence hair follicles, okay? So we already discussed in Crown Conversations episode 2, the hormone system, the endocrine system, the glandular system, okay? So now we're seeing how the body is a holistic unit. Everything works together, okay? So now we see that the liver houses a lot of protein, a lot of nutrients, and disperses them through the body, okay? It is also responsible for protein metabolism, which is the building block of hair by way of amino acids, okay? And then hormone regulation. Hormone regulation is very important. Hormones tell the body what to do, tells the organs what to do, okay? So all of this starts in the liver, okay? The liver is also responsible for detoxification. A healthy liver filters toxins from the blood. When toxins accumulate due to poor function, systemic inflammation can push hair follicles permanently into a resting and shedding phase, okay? And we did discuss this on a previous live, the different stages in the hair growth cycle, okay? And how if different things are affected, such as the hormones, this can push the the hair into the resting and shedding phases of the hair growth cycle, okay? Now, these are some common signs of liver-related hair changes. Okay, diffuse thinning. Diffuse thinning is hair thins evenly across the entire scalp, then rather than in localized spots, okay? So sometimes you will see this in individuals where there is, it's not just spots of hair that's missing or thinning, but you will see a gradual thinning throughout the entire scalp, okay? And you will see more parts, you will see more scalp through the hair, okay? This is usually relates to issues stemming from the liver, okay? Brittle strands, hair that is very dry and brittle. It will not get moisturized no matter what you do. It's always brittle, and brittle hair is very weak and it can break very easily, okay? So brittle strands, hair breaks easily due to underlying nutrient or protein malabsorption, okay? And remember, the protein metabolization process goes on in the liver. So if there is something going on with the liver, then that process is going to be thrown off, okay? And then from this, we will start to see it in our hair by way of brittle and weak strands, okay? Because the body is not being able to absorb the protein that it needs to, okay? And remember, the protein is your hair, okay? Other symptoms, hair changes driven by significant liver stretch, such as fatty liver or chronic dysfunction, may show up alongside fatigue or metabolic imbalances. Okay, so this is very important to understand. Okay, a lot of times people don't connect the dots as far as the different organs playing a part in what may be going on with their hair. But as we can see here, the liver is responsible for nutrient storage. Okay, those very important ones when it comes to hair building, which is iron, zinc, vitamin B12, and then the vitamins A and D, okay? And then protein metabolism, okay? And hormone regulation, okay? Okay, so we can see that the liver plays a very important role in optimal hair health. And if you are experiencing symptoms such as thinning, gradual thinning throughout the entire scalp, then the liver is definitely something that you want to take a look at. And it could be very possible that you need to do a liver cleanse, okay, to get that liver working optimally, okay. All right, so now we're going to go into our next excretory organ, which is the kidneys. Okay, and give me just a moment. Let me locate this. Okay, the kidneys, the urine route. Okay, your kidneys are essentially your body's blood filtering and fluid balancing organs. They continually filter the blood and remove substances that the body needs to eliminate. The kidneys regulate water, electrolytes, acid-base balance, certain metabolic waste, excess substances. The resulting urine travels the kidneys to the urethras, to the bladder, to the urethra, and then outside of the body. Okay. It's estimated that the kidneys filter roughly 120 to 150 quarts of blood per day. Okay, so this is an estimate that the kidneys filter roughly 100 to 150 quarts of blood per day. Okay, producing approximately 1 to 2 quarts of urine in a typical adult, although amounts vary. Okay, so this can vary depending on a person's body mass. Okay, let's say someone weighs 120 pounds, someone weighs 240 pounds. This is going to vary as far as how much quarts of urines that they're producing. Okay, but we can see that the body works by way of the bladder, okay, and the urine, okay, excreting that way. Okay, okay, let's see how the kidney affects hair health. Okay, all right, poor kidney function can cause hair thinning, dryness, and hair loss. When kidneys do not work well, they fail to filter waste, balance hormones, and manage nutrients properly. This imbalance harms hair follicles and disrupts normal hair growth. Okay, causes of hair changes from kidney issues. Nutrient shortages, sick kidneys, lower levels of iron, zinc, protein, and vitamin D, which hair needs to grow. Okay, anemia, low red blood cells means less oxygen reaches your scalp and hair roots. Waste buildup, toxins like urea pile up in the blood and shock the hair cycle. Dryness, reduced natural oils make hair brittle and easy to break. Medications, treatments for kidney disease or dialysis can trigger hair shedding. Okay, so we can see here that the sick kidneys can cause poor levels of iron and zinc and protein, because like I just did say before in a previous live, the hair is the last on the totem pole to receive nutrients, okay, from the body. If there's anything going on with any of the vital organs in the body, that's when we're going to start to see hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, okay? Because the scalp is not really a necessary vital organ, okay? So this is why you're going to start to see things show up. So if we're having any issues with our liver, our colon, our kidneys, because these are so responsible for hormones and for vital nutrients, for protein, for proper nutrient absorption. So if these vital excretory organs are impacted, then we are absolutely going to see it show up in our hair, okay? Okay, this states the kidneys are responsible for anemia. This is low red blood cells, meaning less oxygen reaches the hair and scalp. Okay, why is this important? Because the hair is basically an extension of the blood. Okay, so if there's not proper circulation going on in the body, how can the hair extend? How can the hair grow? Okay, without proper circulation. We cannot have proper circulation if our blood is not properly oxygenated. Okay, so you can see how all of these different things tie into what may be going on with your hair if you're having issues with these different organs. Okay, waste build up toxins like urea pile up in the blood and shock the hair cycle. Okay, so urea is part of the urine. Okay, it's a waste byproduct of the urine. Okay, so if your kidneys are not eliminating and excreting properly, then this waste byproduct from the urine, which is called urea, can build up in the blood. Okay, and once this build up, because the hair again is an extension of the blood, if the urea is storing in the blood, then we absolutely see that this is going to cause an issue with the hair, and this is actually stating that it will shock the hair cycle. So that means that the hair, the 3 cycles that the hair goes through, returning to the anagen, returning to the growth process, now it has been shocked, it has been stifled. So this disrupts the hair growth process. Okay, so this is why it's so important to understand the functioning of our body, and to understand our different organs and how they tie into our hair health. Okay. Okay, any questions so far? Please feel free to ask any questions you may have as it pertains to hair health and your health in general, okay? Because the body is just a holistic unit. Okay, this is episode 3 of Crown Conversations here with Songs Lair. So happy to be with you on this wonderful evening. Okay, these lives that I do, they will be sporadic because I am operating a practice here, okay? So I'm usually working with clients. Sometimes I do go live with clients, but for the most part, I do not, because it can be, it's very private when persons are experiencing hair loss, experiencing any type of scalp disorders. You know, it can be very traumatic, it can be very confusing, and it can be very troubling. So a lot of times I will not go live with clients, because we want to actually keep it very intimate, and we want to keep all of our energy focused on getting to the root of the problem and administering the correct treatments and therapies. Okay, so please make sure that you follow this page, okay, if this is information that is helpful for you, okay, because these lives will be very sporadic. Okay, I'm working on getting on a regular schedule so that I can bring you this educational information. But for now, we're going to go with the flow. And so I will come and do these educational lives when I'm able to. So make sure that you follow so that you will always be notified once I do go live. Okay, if you're unable to watch this live in its totality, you may also go to my YouTube at Songs Lair Health Trichology Beauty, and you'll be able to watch these lives in totality to find out any information that you may have missed. Okay, and also share with any friends, family, or whosoever may benefit from this information as it pertains to your health and your hair. Okay. Okay, so we just did cover the colon, the liver, the kidney, okay? And so we did find out that the colon is responsible for ridding the body of waste, and that if it's not cleaned properly, a lot of buildup and backup can store on the colon walls, and this can block our bodies from absorbing and assimilating the nutrients that it intakes. So that is very important as it pertains to hair, because the hair thrives on nutrients coming by way of the bloodstream. Okay, and we also did learn about the liver, okay, and all of the different jobs that the liver does and how it regulates the different body systems, such as the hormones. such as different nutrients, okay? And then we also learned, I almost forgot, how the colon stores bad emotions and traumatic emotions get stored in those mucoid plaques stored in the colon. So a lot of times persons who are experiencing depression and any type of mental issues and emotional issues, a lot of times they would benefit greatly from doing colon cleansing regularly to purge the body of those negative emotions that have stored in those deposits, okay? And then we just did learn about the kidney, which is the another excretory system by way of the bladder, by way of the urine, okay? And how this metabolizes nutrients and our blood, okay? And how it helps the oxygenation process of our bloodstream, okay? Which is so very important for our hair follicles and our hair fibers. Okay, so last we're going to get into the last excretory organ of the body, which is the spleen. Okay, and give me just a moment. Let me locate this. Let's see here. Let's see, spleen. Okay, the spleen. A lot of people don't know about the spleen. We hear about the colon, we hear about the kidney, we hear about the liver. These are very popular ones we hear about a lot. But nobody really talks about the spleen too much, okay? And the spleen is a very important organ, excretory organ in the body, okay? The spleen, this is a different one, okay? This is important because people often include the spleen in a detox organ list. The spleen is not a major waste excretion organ. Its major role includes filtering the blood, removing old or damaged blood cells, supporting immune function, helping the body to respond to certain infections, serving as a reservoir for certain blood and cells platelets, okay? So we can see here the spleen has a lot to do with the cleansing and regulating of our bloodstream, okay? That is so important. Like I just did say earlier, the hair is an extension of the blood, okay? So when we think in terms of the blood, we want to think in terms of good circulation, oxygenation, and nutrition, okay? Nutrient absorption and assimilation, okay? So this is why the spleen is so important. Even though it's not a major excretory organ, it plays a major part in the blood cleansing of the blood, okay? And that's important when it comes to hair health, okay? Okay. So the liver is primarily processing and metabolism. The kidneys is filtration by way of urine. The colon is stool formation and elimination. And the spleen is a blood and immune surveillancer, okay? So the spleen has to do with the blood and surveillancing the immune system, okay? Okay, so let's get into spleen and hair health. In traditional Chinese medicine, the spleen is viewed as the root of postnatal vitality because it digests food to make the qi and blood that nourish your hair. Okay, let me say that again. The spleen is viewed as the root of postnatal vitality because it digests food to make the qi and blood that nourish your hair. Western medicine looks at it differently, linking hair thinning to overall nutrition, blood flow, and immunity rather than the spleen specifically. Spleen and hair connections. A weak spleen cannot turn food into rich blood. Let me say that again. A weak spleen cannot turn food into rich blood. Okay? Without enough blood to feed the scalp, hair becomes dry, weak, or thin. Okay? Poor spleen function can create internal dampness. This may lead to oily scalp, clogged follicles, or inflammation linked to specific types of hair loss. So poor spleen function can create internal dampness. This may lead to oily scalps, clogged follicles, or inflammation linked to specific types of hair loss. Western medicine's view: the spleen supports immunity and filters blood. Spleen removal or dysfunction rarely causes direct hair loss, though major physical stress or nutritional shortages can trigger shedding. Okay, so we can see here that the spleen is absolutely responsible for turning our food into a healthy bloodstream. Okay, the spleen is responsible for putting nutrients into the blood. Okay. Okay, let's look up ways to support a healthy spleen. To support a healthy spleen, you must focus on warm foods. Warm foods for the spleen. Mindful eating habits and regular movement. Okay, so the spleen thrives on eating warm foods. Okay, and then mindful eating habits, which means feeding the body properly, getting the proper nutrients from our food. So sourcing foods that are high in nutrients that the body needs. And regular movement, exercise, okay? All of this supports a healthy functioning spleen. In traditional Chinese medicine, the spleen is highly sensitive to cold, stress, and overworking. Okay? So this is saying in Chinese medicine, but here we are in the Western world, which you cannot get around stress. You can't get around the cold, okay? Because in not all the states, but pretty much most of the states get all 4 seasons. So once the winter hits, it's very cold, okay? So this is very stressful on the spleen, okay? The spleen likes warm. So the spleen is going to function best in a warm climate. And then also warm foods, warm beverages. So drinking things like herbal teas and eating your hot foods, those are what's going to support the spleen, okay? And then let's see here. And then stress and overworking, okay? So as you can see, the spleen is is going to be under duress just from the environment that we live in, because it's very stressful, and then the food is not nutrient dense, okay? And most people that are in the Western world, just to get by and live, they have to overwork, okay? So the spleen is already impacted just from living alone, okay? So once we know this, we can do things to address it, okay? But a lot of us don't even know this. A lot of us are not even aware of what the spleen is, okay? And it's very important when it comes to the bloodstream, okay? While Western medicine emphasizes the spleen's reliance on a strong immune system and healthy blood circulation, okay? So once again, the spleen also regulates the immune system, okay? So we want to make sure that we're addressing the spleen, because it is so very important for our health. Okay. For the spleen, we want to eat warm foods. Choose cooked foods, easily digestible meals like stews, soups, and congee to minimize digestive strain. See it there? This is why this makes so much sense. More time when we get sick, we will eat some soup. Okay? What happens when we get sick? We want some soup, we want some tea, and sometimes we don't even really understand why it's important to consume these things when we're sick, okay? But because our spleen is responsible for our immune system, and the spleen thrives off of warm foods, stews, soups, teas, so this would make sense why when we get sick, we consume warm beverages and eat hot soup, okay? Because this is making the spleen better, and the spleen is in charge of regulating the immune system. Okay, are you making the connections? You see how the body is so very intelligent. You see how everything connects together. You see why it's so very important for us to understand our body as a whole and all of the ways that it functions, okay? So that we can understand what is going on with our hair. Okay, avoid cold foods. Reduce your intake of raw vegetables, ice drinks, and frozen treats that dampen spleen energy. Okay, so this is saying that it's not advised to eat a lot of cold foods, because this can weaken the functioning of the spleen. Okay, so we want to have cold foods in at a minimum. Okay. Choose orange foods. Incorporate naturally sweet yellow or orange foods like pumpkin, sweet potatoes, squash, and carrots. Okay, so orange foods help support the spleen. Pumpkin, sweet potatoes, squash, and carrots. All of those foods in the orange family, beta carotene, those all help to improve spleen functioning, okay? The spleen is responsible for the immune system. Limit refined sugar. Cut back on processed sugars and heavy dairy products, which can cause what? Which can cause a weakened, compromised spleen, okay? So it says cut back on processed sugars and heavy dairy products. Okay, other ways to support the spleen: eat your meals at the same time every day to establish a predictable digestive rhythm. Manage worry, practice stress reduction techniques, as excessive worrying and overthinking directly weakens spleen chi. Okay, so this is very important, okay, to practice stress reducing techniques, okay, because worrying and overthinking actually weaken the functioning of the spleen, okay? Very important to know, okay? Avoid overeating. Stop eating when you are about 80% full to avoid overwhelming your digestive capacity. Okay? Moderate exercise, engage in gentle movement like walking, tai chi, or yoga to boost blood flow and support metabolism. Stay hydrated. Drink warm or room temperature water throughout the day instead of ice water. Protect the abdomen. Keep your stomach area warm and covered, especially in cold or heavily air-conditioned environments. Okay? So that's very important. The spleen does not function well with the cold. Okay? So this is even saying keep your stomach area warm. Drink warm liquids throughout the day. This all supports spleen health. Okay? Okay, so I hope you're following me so far. Today we're discussing cleansing and detoxing, how it pertains to hair health. We just did cover the colon, we covered the liver, we covered the kidneys, and now the last of the excretory organs, the spleen, okay? The spleen, which is in charge of the blood and the immune system, okay? So the spleen is reliant on a healthy immune system and healthy blood circulation. Okay. Okay, so that's very good. So we just did cover those. Okay, we had to cover those because those are the excretory organs. Okay. So now that we did break down all of the excretory organs, let's go into the how does the waste actually leaves. Okay, here's a simple graphic. Okay, let's see. So first of all, we consume the food. It goes into our small intestines. The nutrients are absorbed. Then it goes to the liver. The liver processes nutrients and many substances. After the liver, then it goes to the colon. The colon is water absorbed, and then water is absorbed in the colon, and then a stool is formed. And then the stool is eliminated through the rectum. Meanwhile, while this process is going on, the blood and the kidneys and the urine and then the bladder. So we go from the blood to the kidneys to the urine to the bladder to the urinary tract. Okay? Out of the body and separately, the liver. Okay? So the kidney, that's how the kidneys are working, by way of the blood goes to the kidneys goes to the urine goes to the bladder, and then it excretes through the urinary tract, okay? So out of the body, this is separate, the liver transfers to bile, the bile goes to the gallbladder, okay? The gallbladder then goes to the small intestine. So when we talk about cleansing, I'm not talking about a bottle of herbs that naturally detoxes your hair follicle. I'm teaching you how the body's digestive, urinary, hepatic, and immune system work, and how nutrition, hydration, elimination, inflammation, and lifestyle can all be a part of the environment in which healthy hair grows. Okay, so let's go now into, since we did discuss all of those excretory systems, now let's discuss what herbs we can actually take to help with the elimination process through these organs. Okay, so here we have you probably can't see that my light has gone off. Let's see if it'll stay on. Okay, so here we have the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen. Okay, so this is one of the cleanses that I do suggest for my clients. This is called CKLS, and it concentrates on these four major organs: colon, kidney, liver, and spleen, excreting, okay, by way of herbs that support the elimination process through these organs and by way of these herbs, okay? So inside of this particular cleanse, we have aloe vera, chamomile, cascara sagrada, chaparral, mullein, over ursi, fenugreek, cayenne, dandelion, and eucalyptus, okay? So the first herb being mullein, respiratory throat soothing herb, traditionally used for coughs and mucus. This is for the respiratory system. Okay, so this is more of a respiratory support herb than a colon detox herb, okay? Next we have chaparral. Chaparral, historically marketed as an antioxidant cleansing herb. This cleanses the liver and whole body, okay? Okay, cascara sagrada. Cascara sagrada is a stimulant laxative. This is for the colon. This promotes bowel movement, not the same as removing systemic toxins. Okay, so cascara sagrada focuses solely on the colon. Okay, and then we see that chaparral is for the liver, and then mullein is for the respiratory. Dandelion, traditionally used for digestion and as a diuretic. This is for digestive and urinary tract. So this would be more so for the kidneys. Chaparral, okay? I'm sorry, dandelion. That's more so for the kidneys. Okay? Uva ursi, traditionally used for urinary tract support. Okay? So uva ursi is more so for the urinary and kidneys. Okay? And chamomile, calming, digestive, and soothing herb, nervous and digestive system. Generally gentler, but allergies and drug interactions may be possible. Okay, then we have eucalyptus, traditionally respiratory decongestion for the respiratory system. Okay, then we have cayenne, warming, stimulating, spice, may stimulate GI activity. This is for the cayenne is good for all of the excretory system. So your liver, your kidney, your spleen, and your colon. This is going to be a great stimulant for all of those, especially for the spleen, as it has that warming effect. Okay. And then aloe vera resin, aloe vera gel is soothing, also a laxative, and has latex and laxative effects. Okay. So this is for the colon, okay? And this helps with the elimination of backed up stool or mucoid plaques, okay? And then we have fenugreek. This is digestive, and this is a traditional tonic that's rich in fiber, okay? So this is a blend of all of these herbs in this particular cleanse that addresses the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen, okay? And these ingredients, eucalyptus, chamomile, when we think in terms of cascara sagada, we think in terms of chaparral, uva ursi, these can be more of harsher herbs, as they go in and they pull up toxins and go to work in cleaning out toxins and getting the body rid of debris. Okay, so sometimes when we take different cleanses, it can be kind of harsh on the digestive tract, and sometimes it can be harsh on the colon. Okay, so this cleanse is so wonderful because it has these soothers in it: aloe vera, eucalyptus, okay, chamomile. So these other herbs that may be a little harsher, we have these other herbs to counteract that and help to soothe the digestive tract, soothe the colon lining, soothe the colon walls, okay, so that you can have a proper and good elimination and cleanse, okay, all while your system being supported and being soothed at the same time, okay. So this is one of the cleanses that I do suggest for my clients when they come in to begin any treatment program, okay? And if you are interested and want to know more about this cleanse, please feel free to DM me, send me a direct message, or you can simply go to the link in my bio, and I will be more than happy to assist you and guide you in the process, okay? You can get the cleanse directly here from Song's Lair, and I will support you with all of the pertinent information that you need, and also give you instructions day by day of what to do and how to successfully get through your cleanse, okay? Okay, let's go into another powerful cleanser. As we did speak about earlier, we said we would discuss wheatgrass and chlorophyll. These are powerful detoxifiers, okay? And these are detoxifiers that can be consumed daily, okay? Because when we think in terms of detoxification, we want to do our periodic cleanses, such as this one here that I just did discuss, CKLS, but we also want to live a life of detoxification. So we want to consume things that are going to be helping to detox our body on a daily basis, okay? So wheatgrass, a lot of people don't know what wheatgrass is. Wheatgrass juice, I'm going to read it to you, okay? This is a powerful, powerful detoxifier, okay? And builder, okay? What is wheatgrass juice? A juice that is extracted from sprouted winter wheat berries. The berry is sprouted and grown 6 inches before cutting because this is where the nutritional value is at its fullest potential. Due to its fibrous nature, which is indigestible by humans, wheatgrass must be liquefied before it can be consumed. A live food, the wheat berry is packed with nutrients including vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and most importantly chlorophyll, which is its main component. It is naturally rich in vitamin C and B, both of which build our immune system and enhance healthy skin and teeth. Wheatgrass contains 92 of the 102 minerals found in soil, along with elements of calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. Wheatgrass is also a complete protein with about 30 enzymes and approximately 70% crude chlorophyll. Powerful. This nutrient-rich grass contains 17 amino acids, which are building blocks of proteins. Our bodies use these amino acids to build muscle tissue, repair cells, and clot the blood. However, it is wheatgrass's chlorophyll that is perhaps its most valuable asset. Chlorophyll has been shown in studies to have a cleansing, detoxifying, and healing effect on the body. Okay, wheatgrass as an energizer. The vitality obtained from the wheatgrass juice is remarkable. 2 ounces of fresh wheatgrass juice has the same amount of vitamins and minerals as 5 pounds of fresh organic produce. Okay, let me say that again. 2 ounces, okay? 2 ounces of wheatgrass has the same amount of vitamins and minerals as 5 pounds of fresh organic produce, okay? On an empty stomach, wheatgrass juice is assimilated into the bloodstream in less than 10 minutes, and the vitality lasts throughout the day. Okay? Builder. Chlorophyll has a similar chemical makeup to hemoglobin, red blood cells which carry oxygen to all cells, differing only in the central atom. The central atom is chlorophyll. The central atom in chlorophyll is magnesium. In hemoglobin, it is iron. It builds red blood cells, normalizes high blood pressure, stimulates healthy tissue growth, and improves circulation. Okay? Cleanser. Wheatgrass is an effective aid to relieve constipation, clean out bacteria, and act as a disinfecting agent. It helps wash drug deposits from the body, purifies the blood and organs, and counteracts acids and toxins in the body. Chlorophyll can break down poisonous carbon dioxide and releases free oxygen, both inhibiting the action of anaerobic bacteria. Where was I? Chlorophyll can break down poisonous carbon dioxide and releases free oxygen, both inhibiting the action of anaerobic bacteria, disease-producing microorganisms, cancer. And by increasing the oxygenation of the body, it can offset the effects of smog and carbon dioxide. Chlorophyll has proven very effective in healing chronic disorders. Wheatgrass helps remove toxic heavy metals such as lead, mercury, and aluminum that are stored in the body's tissues. These deposits can upset the electrical impulses of the brain, causing many mental and physical disorders. Wheatgrass juice's strong detergent properties helps drain the lymph system, which gathers toxins from throughout the body's cells. When an imbalance or injury exists, such as sore muscles, a degenerative disease, there is a natural buildup of mucus in the lymph of that area. This mucus is encapsulated so as not to endanger the flow of lymph. Wheatgrass juice will break down that mucus and allow it to drain, relieving pressure and healing the area. Powerful. A healer. Wheatgrass juice helps to increase the enzyme level in our cells, aiding in the rejuvenation of the body and the dissolution of tumors. Wheatgrass can be used as a wash, douche, bath, or poultice, stimulating healthy new cells and fighting infection. Okay, so as we can see here, wheatgrass juice is very, very powerful. It's very similar to our own blood. The only thing being different is magnesium, okay, and in the chlorophyll, and then in hemoglobin, which is human blood, iron, okay? So once we consume chlorophyll, it actually helps to build our blood. And as you can see here, it's an energizer, a builder, a cleanser, and a healer, okay? And when we think of chlorophyll, we think of the green. You see this green? Every plant is green, okay? Why is every plant green? Because that is what we call chlorophyll. the blood of the plant. Okay, so every plant that we see is green. Okay, and that is because it is filled with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very comparable to human blood. Okay, and once it is consumed, it acts as an energizer, a builder, a cleanser, and a healer. Okay, we're going to read some of these wonders of wheatgrass juice here. The chlorophyll from the juice increases heart and vascular function, and is also helpful to the lungs, intestines, and other organs. Cleanses the body and neutralizes unwanted toxins. This is very important because we're bombarded with so much radiation and a lot of heavy metals. So the wheatgrass actually purges all of that from the body, okay? And oxygenates the bloodstream, okay? Helps oxygenate the blood and may reduce high blood pressure. Purifies the blood and aids circulation. Provides iron to the blood to eliminate anemia. Disinfects and helps to clean out bacteria and viruses. Helps to revitalize sexual organs and hormone production. Relieves sore throats. Helps with hair from graying. Aids in proper digestion of other foods. Cleanses because the liquid chlorophyll is filled with enzymes. Okay, so when you consume the liquid chlorophyll, it helps to break down the food. Just like when you eat vegetables, you always eat your vegetables with certain foods, and it helps to break down the foods that you consume. Okay, it's the same with wheatgrass. It's very powerful in that way. Okay, keeps hair from graying. Why does it help keep hair from graying? Because more often than not, the hair is graying because of a lack of nutrients, okay? Because less pigment is being produced by the body. So when the body is fortified with a lot of potent nutrients, that delays the graying process of the hair, okay? Aids in proper digestion of other foods, cleanses skin, and alleviates troubles and problems. A lot of clients have issues with acne, eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis. I absolutely always recommend consuming wheatgrass and using wheatgrass as a topical in those problem areas, okay? And it absolutely does help, okay? It's excellent, excellent, excellent for the skin, okay? Let's see. Used topically, it can reduce annoying dandruff, okay? So we also use wheatgrass as a topical treatment for persons who have flaky scalp conditions, and it alleviates it, okay? An excellent natural treatment for candida and other vaginal infections, okay? So this wheatgrass absolutely gets rid of yeast, okay? Very important, okay? A great mouthwash that refreshes and protects mouth, teeth, and gums, okay? Some years ago, I did have a vicious tooth infection, okay? And I did get the bulb of the wheatgrass, okay? And then I stuck it right in there on my inflamed tooth. And within hours, my toothache was gone, okay? So this is a powerful, powerful superfood here that with a lot of healing properties, very potent, okay? Filled with chlorophyll, which is the blood of the plant, okay? And we already know that plants are very healing, okay? And hold a lot of medicinal properties that the human benefits from greatly, okay? Let's see. Counteracts radiation from television, computer screens, okay? So as you can see here, I have my chlorophyll water here, okay? And I drink this every day. 1 cup of this, okay? Because we are heavily bombarded by radiation. We are heavily bombarded with all kinds of things going on in the air and heavy metals that come by way of different foods that we consume, okay? So the chlorophyll absolutely helps to counteract that. And as you can see, it's just green, coming straight from the plant. Okay, and it's pretty much tasteless. Now, this is not wheatgrass itself. This is liquid chlorophyll. So the wheatgrass comes from the wheatgrass berries, where that would be juice, and that's living. Now, this is liquid chlorophyll. Okay, so this is a supplement that I purchase and store in the refrigerator, and then I put about less than a teaspoonful in water every day. You can put it in your water or juice and consume it, and it's going to help to oxygenate your blood, build your blood, and it's also going to help with heavy metals and with the radiation that we're bombarded with. Okay, it's also a detoxifier. Okay, so it counteracts radiation from television and computer screens, removes traces amounts of toxic metals from our bodies. Very important. As an enema, heals and detoxifies colon walls. Contains 3 types of protein. Contains 3 times the protein of meat. Okay? This part is so very important because I have so much clients come in who are meat eaters. And I tell them that they would benefit greatly, their body would benefit much more from not consuming the meat. But a lot of people who eat meat, it's very hard for them to change that. Okay, and then the next question that I get asked is, well, how will I get my protein? Okay, so a lot of people don't know and don't realize that the greens, the dark greens, are a great source of protein. Okay, and so when you're getting this concentrated liquid chlorophyll here, it's concentrated in actually has 3 times the amount of protein that you would get from meat. Okay, so you do not have to get your protein from consuming meat. You can absolutely get your protein from those dark green vegetables and from your chlorophyll. Okay, 3 times the amount of protein. Okay, so you do not need to consume meat in order to get your protein. That's a lot of people don't know that. Okay, that's a misconception that a lot of people have, that they have to eat their meat in order to get their protein. That is not true. Here you see wheatgrass contains 3 times the protein that you would get in meat. Okay, contains vitamins A, B, C, and minerals include calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, cobalt, and zinc. Okay, so we can see just drinking 2 ounces of wheatgrass is comparable to eating 5 pounds of fresh produce. Okay, in this little 2 ounces or 1 ounce, whatever you decide to consume, okay, it's loaded with vitamin A, B, C, minerals, including calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, cobalt, and zinc. Do you see how this can be so helpful? As we did discuss the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen, okay, and what those organs thrive off of. Okay, so wheatgrass here is directly stating it will nourish those organs, okay, and also help with the cleansing and detoxification process. Okay, nutritional content is 25 times more concentrated than an equal portion of fresh vegetables. Okay, 25 times more concentrated. So that means if I'm eating a big bowl of salad and a bunch of vegetables, I can simply drink 2 ounces of wheatgrass and get 25% more nutritional content from just drinking that little bit of wheatgrass. Okay, so wheatgrass is something that I definitely suggest, okay, for everyday nutritional value and for detoxification purposes. Wheatgrass is a rich source of vitamin A, C, and B complex, as well as calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, sulfur, cobalt, and zinc. It also contains B17, known as laetrile, a formidable destroyer of cancer cells. Okay? This is very important because we live in a carcinogen forming society. Okay, by way of the water, the food, the air. Okay, carcinogens all about. Okay, so if we're consuming something that helps to fight this off, isn't that so helpful and powerful? Okay, a lot of people don't know about this. Okay, chlorophyll juice is a complete food with a molecular structure closely resembling hemoglobin. Okay, so here it is again. Wheatgrass is a complete food. Complete food meaning it has all of the vital nutrients in it. You can sustain your body from it, okay? It also, the structure closely resembles hemoglobin. What is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is our blood. Okay, so this resembles and is very comparable to hemoglobin. So once it's consumed, it actually stacks in your blood, renews your blood, replenishes your blood, and gives you a better quality of blood, and helps with the iron production in your blood. Okay, so this is a win-win all across the board. Okay, it is a natural blood building element which serves to nourish the human organs. Okay, we just did discuss the kidney, liver, spleen, colon, okay, and what it needs. Everything I'm reading here, wheatgrass absolutely sustains that. Okay, it is a natural blood building element which serves to nourish the human organs. It also works to detoxify our bodies. In addition, chlorophyll increases the function of the heart, the vascular system, the intestines, the uterus, and the lungs. Okay? Wheatgrass juice provides natural enzymes to optimize digestion. Okay? So this is something that I absolutely advise to clients. Okay? When it comes to a health regimen, okay? Because you can see it covers so many things and it's so powerful and concentrated, okay? And it's very comparable to our own blood, okay? So it is a win-win consuming wheatgrass, okay? Usually what I will do is I would go to the juice bar once a week and get the Fresh Livings wheatgrass juice there. Okay, you can also buy your own wheatgrass from the farmer's market. Okay, and you can get a wheatgrass juicer, or you can find a local juice bar around that juices wheatgrass. Okay, usually what I do is once a week I'll go and get 2 ounces of wheatgrass and drink that. But during the week I will consume liquid chlorophyll, which is something that you can just purchase from your health food store. Okay, and you can just add it directly to your juice and water and drink it daily for daily maintenance. And then you can do what I usually do is do my actual wheatgrass once a week, and then I'll do my liquid chlorophyll that I purchase from the health food store throughout the week. Okay, so this is liquid chlorophyll. This is derived from alfalfa, and then the actual wheatgrass juice comes from the wheatgrass berries. Okay. So if you have any questions about wheatgrass, or you need guidance, or you need to know how to start, please feel free to leave me a direct message, or you can go to the link in my bio I'll be more than happy to assist you with this, okay? How to start taking wheatgrass juice. The juice will have different effects on different people depending on their level of toxicity. For those who experience a refreshing taste and immediate vitality, 2 ounces of juice is recommended maintenance per day. For increased health and energy, slowly increase up to 4 ounces per day. Because of the high enzyme content of the juice, toxins are broken down immediately and passed into the bloodstream. Lightheadedness and nausea experienced from this cleansing indicates toxicity and need for regular detoxification. These upsets last only a short time and will decrease with increased juicing. Wheatgrass juice is very concentrated and will cause nausea when overconsumed. Fresh wheatgrass juice is ideally consumed 1 hour before a meal or 2 hours after. Hold the juice in your mouth for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Doing this maximizes the juice's enzymatic properties by working with the digestion, which starts in the mouth. Also, warming the juice to body temperature facilitates absorption and assimilation. Remember, carrot or vegetable juices are always good chasers. Okay. So basically this is saying how to start with wheatgrass juice. Usually 1 to 2 ounces you start with. Okay. Depending on your toxic level, that's going to determine how well you're able to absorb and how agreeable the wheatgrass is for you. Okay. Now, when I first did start consuming wheatgrass, it was not agreeable for me. My taste buds didn't like it. I kind of shook and shuddered. Have you ever tasted something or consumed something? You're like, ooh, you know that kind of taste doesn't taste too good. Okay, but what I find is that usually things that are healthy for your body usually don't taste so good. Okay, so we have to change our relationship to what we're consuming. Okay, so it's a mental shift that we need to make. Okay, as far as the foods that we consume. So what I started mentally doing is I started to like the things that were going to make me feel good, and I started to dislike the things that may have tasted good but would make me not feel good. Okay, so we want to change our relationship to the foods and beverages that we're consuming. Okay, because if it makes us feel good, then that's something that we should absolutely consume. Okay, and sometimes these things are an acquired taste. Okay, and they do take mental shifts. Okay, so if it's your first time taking wheatgrass, because a lot of times I see with people, if it's disagreeable for them, they don't like the taste of it, they're not gonna do it. Okay, but we want to change that. Okay, because a lot of times those foods that taste good, sugary foods, fried foods, all these things, they taste really good, but what are they doing to our body over time? How do they make us feel? Are they improving the quality of our lives? Okay, and most cases they are not. Okay, when we consume things like the bitters and we consume different vegetables, okay, and different herbs, different roots, okay, they may not taste so good, but they make us feel good. Okay, and that's what we want. We want to improve the quality of our health, and a lot of times that comes by way of consuming things that may not taste so great. Okay, but they are actually great for us. Okay, so the wheatgrass, like I did say, is very potent. Okay, but as you can see, it has numerous healing properties. Okay, loaded with protein. Okay, so you don't need your meat to get your protein in. Okay, anti-cancer properties, filled with minerals, filled with all of the nutrients that the body needs, a detoxifier, a cleanser, a healer, an energizer. helps with the digestive tract, helps with elimination. Okay, so this is one of the things that I absolutely suggest for my clients on their healing regimen. Okay, wheatgrass, and I'm going to suggest it to ones and ones who are listening today. Okay, definitely look into wheatgrass juice. Like I said, it can be purchased from your farmer's market. You can get your own juicer, or you can find a local juice bar in your area that does juice the wheatgrass, and you can start consuming it. Okay, I usually take my wheatgrass once a week from the juice bar, and then throughout the week I would consume my liquid chlorophyll. Okay, there's different brands of liquid chlorophyll, so all you have to do is simply just look it up and look up liquid chlorophyll, and then you can purchase your chlorophyll based on that, from the research you did, what brand that you may want to use. Okay, but it's absolutely something that is very effective in cleansing and detoxing and overall health. Okay, so today we just did discuss here in episode 3 of Crown Conversations, cleansing and detoxing. We covered the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen. We discussed different herbs that help those different organs, okay, with the cleansing process. We also did discuss this powerful supplement and nutrient called wheatgrass that is filled with nutrients, filled with protein, an energizer, a blood builder, and the list goes on and on. Okay, we also understand how these organs play a role in hair health. Okay, and why it's so important that we stay on top of keeping our body properly detoxed and cleansed, okay, to see optimal health in our hair. And we also realize how these body systems and organs, once impacted, will start to show up in our hair, because they have so much to do with protein production, oxygenation of the blood, nutrient absorption. Okay, and all of these are key factors in hair health. Okay, so let's see. I think this is going to cover it for us. Let me see if I did miss anything here. And if there's any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, my name is April E. Diggs. I am the founder and owner here at Songs There Health Trichology Beauty. I'm also a product developer. This is the Return to Anagen product line here at Songs Lair. Okay, these are specially formulated products for persons experiencing hair loss, thinning, scalp diseases, and scalp disorders. Okay, also formulated for persons who have locks and natural hair. Okay, I want to get into another cleanser real quick. Okay, a lot of you may be familiar with this. This is the amazing apple cider vinegar. Okay, so I call it ACV, apple cider vinegar. A lot of you may know about this. Apple cider vinegar has many uses. Okay, and there's many different vinegars. We're going to be speaking of apple cider vinegar. Okay, so many different healing properties in apple cider vinegar. Okay, it has healing properties just like the wheatgrass. Okay, but it's also a cleanser. Okay, and it helps with different issues such as arthritis, asthma, bones, bone health, cancer, cholesterol, the common cold, constipation, coughs, cramps, diabetes, diarrhea, dietary transitions. Okay, let's talk about this real quick, dietary transitions, because once you're starting your healing regimen, once you come in to see me as the trichologist and we get you on a treatment plan and we start you by way of a detox and cleanse, then that means the body is going to go through a transition phase, okay? Because the body has been used to eating meats, it's been used to eating processed foods, sugar, all these different things, okay? So we just take those away immediately, the body can go into withdrawal and shock, okay? So let's see how apple cider vinegar plays a role in this. Dietary transition. People in the process of switching from a refined food and or meat-centered diet to one primarily composed of whole grains and vegetables will benefit by taking a little vinegar to help the body manage the detoxification process and help it adjust to different digestion. During the early stages of transition, sip 1/3 cup of water mixed with 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar 3 times a day. Okay, so this can absolutely help for persons who want to come off of the meat. You want to come off the meat, but you've been eating it so long, you don't know how you will ever do it. Okay, apple cider vinegar definitely helps in that transition process and helps with the digestion process and the taste buds transferring over, everything transferring over. The apple cider vinegar absolutely helps with that, okay? Let me turn on this light. Give me one moment. Okay. Earlier, we did speak about negative emotions being stored in the colon. So when we don't have proper elimination, all those mucoid plaques that store in the colon walls by way of different foods that we consume, breads, pastas, cakes, all of those different things that turn into like a glue that stick onto the colon walls and cause mucoid plaques, okay? When we think of plaque building up on our teeth, the plaque can act, or we think of plaque building up in our arteries, okay? It can absolutely be dangerous over time, because what does the plaque lead to in the teeth? It leads to cavities, okay? So if we have plaque building up on our colon walls, that also causes different issues as far as our health is concerned, okay? And what this does is all of the negative and toxic traumatic emotions that we may feel, it all can store and house in those mucoid plaques in our colon. That's why it's so important to do regular cleansing to improve our mental health as well, not just our physical health, our mental health, okay? Okay, and so earlier I was speaking about that, and so let's see what this says. So the apple cider vinegar helps as far as transitioning your diet, okay, helping the body transition with food cravings and transition over from eating unhealthy to eating healthy once again, okay? So dietary, let's see. And then we did speak about how different mental disorders such as depression can stem from the colon, from us not eliminating properly, and from trauma and negative emotions storing in the colon walls. Okay, Eastern medicine believes that while mental depression is experienced in the mind, it is rooted in a stagnant liver. And remember, we did speak about the liver as well, as far as it being one of the excretory systems of the body. Okay, and the liver is responsible for holding a lot of anger, okay? So if you see people who have anger issues, more often than not, they're having an issue with their liver, okay? And what is depression? Depression is suppressed anger, okay? So this all makes sense. So you connecting the dots, okay? So let's see here. Due to its cleansing effect on the liver, mild cases of depression are thought to be relieved by taking a teaspoon of vinegar in a little water. Others attribute the ability to decrease depression to its amino acid content. Okay, again, that is so very important. Remember, we were talking about the hair as a whole being fibrous protein, the building blocks being amino acids that create the protein. Okay, so we can see here that the apple cider vinegar is a powerful cleanser. Okay, and it also aids these different organs as well. Okay, the eyes. Vinegar's primary antioxidant beta carotene contributes to maintaining good health by protecting the eyes from cataracts. Cataract development is related to oxidation of the eye's lens, which occurs when the free radicals alter its structure. Okay, a lot of people don't know this. Apple cider vinegar is absolutely wonderful for eye health and prevention of cataract development. Okay, buildup of fatigue. A buildup of lactic acid released during exercise and stress can cause fatigue, and the amino acids in vinegar can counteract the effect of excess lactic acid in the bloodstream. The enzymes and potassium in vinegar may also play a part in treating fatigue. One suggested dosage for chronic fatigue in 3 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar to 1/8 of a cup of honey taken at bedtime. Okay? And the list goes on and on. Food poisoning, hiccups, gallstones and kidney stones, headache, heart and blood pressure, indigestion, sore muscles, nasal congestion. A lot of times, because there's all 4 seasons here, so when the springtime does come, the pollen is very, very thick. So a lot of times people have really bad allergy problems. I always suggest apple cider vinegar. Okay, why do I suggest apple cider vinegar? Because apple cider vinegar is very good with nasal congestion, with any type of congestion. It rids the body of that excess mucus and congestion, and apple cider vinegar is very good in regulating allergies. Okay, it helps with sore throat, ulcers, yeast infections, and candida. Bleeding, burns, cuts and abrasions, ears, feet. Okay, excellent for any type of fungal infections. Hair and scalp, let's read about this. One of the causes of an itching scalp and dandruff are bacteria from clogged hair follicles forming dry crust. The acid and enzymes present in apple cider vinegar kill the offending bacteria. Some people believe it is a fungus which causes dandruff, but vinegar will kill those too. Pour full strength vinegar on the head and wrap with a towel for an hour before washing hair. Repeat this procedure as necessary. For an after shampoo rinse that will leave the hair shiny, less frizzy, and with more body, mix 1 part vinegar to 4 parts water. Vinegar can be used very effectively to treat ringworm of the scalp. Ringworm is a fungus which is transmitted directly from child to child, but may also be transmitted to children from cats and dogs. Massage apple cider vinegar with the fingertips into the ringworm area of the scalp 3 times a day, beginning each morning and continuing through to nighttime. Okay? So this is one of the things that I suggest to use internally, and also for clients to use as a ectopic scalp treatment if they're experiencing any flare-ups. Okay, it's also good in the treatment of herpes, insect bites and stings, poison ivy, poison oak, shingles, sunburn, weight control, varicose veins, facial Okay, corns and calluses, nails, hair. To brighten dark hair and highlight blonde hair, use a vinegar and water rinse. Earlier I mentioned how vinegar rinse will control dandruff and leave hair shiny and healthier. A final vinegar rinse after shampooing will also eliminate the frizz for those sporting a new permanent and will prevent buildup of hair control additives, sprays, and gels. Okay, so vinegar is a natural astringent. Okay, and when I sell it astringent, an astringent is a cleanser. It's a mild cleanser. Okay, so vinegar doesn't just work as an astringent topically, it also is an astringent internally. Okay, so it helps a lot with the cleansing and detoxification process as well. Okay. Okay, and this is another good one. Okay, regularly have a glass of water containing 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar and 1 teaspoon each of honey and molasses for a full head of richly nourished hair. Okay, and the blackstrap molasses has a lot of nutrients in it. Okay, so that's a powerful drink to nourish your hair and follicles. Let me see, anything else I want to share from here? Okay, so this is another wonderful book that I love. Amazing Apple Cider Vinegar. This is by Earl L. Mendel, PhD. Earl L. Mendel. The Amazing Apple Cider Vinegar. Okay, so this is another one that I would suggest as part of your daily detoxing regimen. Okay. And then, of course, we did discuss wheatgrass. Okay. So we're going over some of these different things that aid in cleansing and detoxing the body and how that pertains to hair health. Okay. You can get an analyzed directive directly through me. You can go to the link in the bio, or you can simply send me a direct message. Okay. And as you can see, we're discussing some of the tools, some of the things that I suggest for clients to help them on their healing regimen. Okay, help them on their healing journey. Okay, but if you would like one-on-one assistance tailored directly to what you are experiencing, then like I said, you can absolutely direct message me, or you can go to the link in my bio and it would take you to where you need to book a consultation. Okay, because everybody's body is different. This is not a one size fits all. So if you're experiencing any types of issues whatsoever, please reach out and I will be more than happy to assist you with your unique circumstance. Okay, in holistically. Okay, because a lot of this information people do not know, they do not have. Okay, and it can make all the difference in your wellness regimen. Okay, so we can see here from this presentation today how cleansing and detoxing is so very important for the body, and how it is foundational in any healing process. And we also see how it absolutely is in direct connection to the hair and scalp health. Okay. All right, let me see if I did leave anything out. Okay, because we are about to wrap up here. We've been here for about 3 hours now, and I want to make sure that I didn't leave any stone unturned. Okay, this is Crown Conversations. I'm April E. Diggs, and I am the owner and founder here at Songs Lair Health, Trichology, Beauty, where we focus on those three factors. Health, okay, I'm a certified naturopath consultant. I help people to gain a better health by way of proper nutrition and herbal supplementation, okay? And then trichology. I'm a certified trichologist for the last 9 years, working with clients who are experiencing hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, and scalp diseases. Okay? And also beauty. Of course, we all want to look beautiful. We all want to look good. Okay? So I am also a licensed cosmetologist of 20 plus years, specializing in the areas of natural hair and predominantly locks. I'm also a product developer. This is the return to anagen product line here. These are specially formulated products designed to assist in the areas of hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, scalp diseases, okay? And also for the persons who have natural hair and locks, okay? I've taken out the guesswork for you, okay? These are cold pressed products. Cold pressed meaning all the nutrients and enzymes are still preserved in the product. So this is going to go directly into your skin, directly into your scalp, okay? There are no additives, there are no preservatives. There's nothing to keep them on the shelf. They need to be used within a certain amount of time, okay? And this is how you get the healing properties from your products, okay? All of the products that are lining the shelf that have a bunch of chemicals and fillers, all of that is going into your skin and going into your hair. And a lot of these products do not have proven efficacy, okay? So I have taken the guesswork out for you and made it very simple by designing these different formulas based on what I see clients that need in my years of practice, okay? And I am still developing products as I see the need for more as I see more issues arise, then I develop more products to help assist in those areas. Okay, so stay tuned because there are more products on the way. But for now, we have some wonderful products here that are formulated to address different issues such as thinning, scalp disorders, scalp diseases, and to help with the health and vitality of people who have locks and natural hair. This is the return to anagen product line here, okay? There's a scalp detoxifier, a cell replenisher, okay? Hair builder, 3 different formulas of oil, soothing scalp formula, hair growth assister, and deep moisture formula. Those are the 3 factors that I see in our hair, okay, that are issues in our hair. People who need a formula for soothing scalp, okay, for soothing their scalp because they may have some type of inflammation or some type of flare-up from dermatitis or psoriasis. Hair growth assister, people who are experiencing issues with stunted growth, okay? This is the hair growth assister that assists with hair growth, okay? And then deep moisture formula. This is the #1 product besides the aloe hydrator. This is the #1 because we are absolutely experiencing dry hair in our community, okay? So that's why I made this special formula. And then I have the Shea Butter 2.0 here. Okay, so this is an infusion of shea butter with other cold pressed oils, okay, to make it much more emollient. And then we have a scalp detoxifier here and a scalp builder, the Fresh Follicles scalp detoxifier, okay. Let's see here. I think that we pretty much covered everything today as far as detoxifying and the different organs and the cleanse that I suggest and the different herbs. So you can absolutely reach out to me if you would like analyze directive in this area, okay? And let's see, I just want to go back in my notes and make sure that I didn't leave any stone unturned before we get ready to wrap up today. Okay, so we discussed the colon, the kidney, the liver, the spleen. We discussed herbs that help to cleanse and eliminate these organs and eliminate from these organs. We discuss how these organs impact the body, how they impact the hair when they are imbalanced, okay? And then we also discuss the powerful benefits of consuming wheatgrass and chlorophyll and the difference between those two, okay? Okay, let me just go back in my notes and make sure that I didn't leave anything out. Okay, and we discussed that. We discussed how the spleen works. Okay, and this is episode 3 of Crown Talks. Okay, in episode 1 we discussed the nervous system. In episode 2 we discussed the hormonal, endocrine, glandular system. We're going to go through all of the body systems, okay, because we need to understand the body. Okay, the body is the source of why we're seeing issues arise in our hair and scalp. Okay, so it's very important that we educate ourselves on these very intelligent, intricate bodies and what the different body systems may be telling us by way of our hair. Okay, okay, and then we did discuss the amazing apple cider vinegar, okay, and how this is a powerful detoxifier, daily detoxifier as well, and how this can be used. Okay, we talked about how the colon eliminates, how the kidney, liver, and spleen eliminate. Okay, the different supportive herbs that help with the elimination process. Okay, we discussed that. Okay, we did discuss this. Okay, give me just one moment. I need to go through all these notes and make sure that I did not miss anything. Okay, so I think that's going to cover everything for today. All right, before we go, we're going to go ahead and read this. Okay, I always want to leave you with some positive information and food for thought. Okay, and we all live in this big world. We all share this rock together. Okay, there's enough things going on the planet, enough things. Okay, how do we keep ourselves healthy in an unhealthy world? Okay, how do we manage ourselves? Okay, so cleansing and detoxing is absolutely foundational and fundamental for optimum health. Okay, not just physically, but as you can see, it helps us mentally and emotionally as well when we keep our body cleansed and detoxed. And then we keep daily practices that support cleansing and detoxing, okay? We all live in this big world together, and we all have to get along in one way or another, okay? And this is also part of a healthy, clean lifestyle, okay? How we treat ourselves, how we treat others, okay? So let me read this here. Getting along with people. Keep skid chains on your tongue. Say less than you think. Cultivate a soothing voice. How you say it often means more than what you say. Okay? Because Getting along with people is very important in this world. Okay, how we interact with ones and ones can either lead to a positive outcome or a negative outcome. It can either be healthy or it can be toxic interaction. So we absolutely want to monitor how we get along with one another, okay? Because this adds to our life being healthy or our life being toxic, okay? And it's very important to be mindful of this because energy transfers. So however we treat ourselves, however we treat one another, that's absolutely going to impact the quality of our lives, okay? So keep skid chains on your tongue. Say less than you think. Cultivate a soothing voice. How you say it often means more than what you say, okay? So this is reminding us to be mindful of how we speak to one another, okay? How we say it all makes a big difference, okay? Make promises sparingly and keep them faithfully, no matter the cost, okay? So there's a saying that says a promise is a comfort to a fool. So I does my best not to make no promises, okay? Okay, and then I do my best to be impeccable with my word. So if me say me I go do something, you best believe me I go do it, okay? Because it's very important for me to keep my word. That's how I keep a healthy relationship with myself and keep a self-respect, because I keep my word. And what is your word? Your word is your bond, okay? So this is saying to get along with people, make promises sparingly and keep whatever promises you did make, keep them faithfully, okay? No matter the cost, okay? Number 3, never lose an opportunity to say a kind word or to say a kind word or about somebody. Praise work well done, regardless of who did it, okay? This is all healthy living. This is all improves your quality of life. It never hurts anyone to give a compliment. It never hurts anyone to say something positive, okay? It's actually lifting up the energy in the room. It's actually lifting up the morale of the people, okay? So we want to find every chance we can to compliment someone, to say something positive, no matter who has done it, okay? We want to give credit where credit is due, okay? And this helps the morale of not just you as an individual, but the entire planet as a whole. This song is so beautiful. I gotta turn this up. Things come and go. Okay. Be interested in others, their pursuits, their homes, and their families. Let everyone you meet, however humble, feel you regard him as important. Okay? A lot of us are so self-centered. We only care about what we have going on. We don't care about the next man. We don't want to hear what they're doing. We have no interest. But listen me, everyone is connected, okay? Everyone is connected, no matter how much you don't want to say it. Just like when I look at the people, the rich people, right? And we have in California now alone, we have tent cities. We have people living in tents all about the place, okay? And then we have some people are still living in their nice big houses, okay? People who have money. But you can't tell me when you come out of your yard, you don't smell that feces. You don't smell that hot urine in the air. You don't see the people living in their tents. So you may still be in your big nice house, but when you come out, you can't tell me you not see what's going around you. You can't tell me you don't hear and you don't feel and you don't smell. Okay? So everyone is affected from everyone. And so that is why it's so very important that we make a concerted effort to look out for one another, okay? Because we all are affected by one another. We all are connected, okay? Take an interest in others. Care about what the other people are doing. Lift up one another, okay? This is healthy, okay? This is positive. This improves your quality of life. This helps to improve other people's qualities of life. Be cheerful. Keep the corners of your mouth turned up. Hide your worries and disappointments under a smile, okay? Them always say, turn that frown upside down, okay? Why? Because we can either make a bad situation worse or we can make it better. Okay? So if we concentrate on the negative, we will definitely make things worse. If we're sick, we're not feeling well, if we pump positivity into our body and we tell ourselves we're going to be well, we are well, eventually we become well. But if we drown ourselves in the misery and the negativity, then we go downhill, okay? So we want to do our best. No, we're not perfect. Yes, some days will catch us and the sadness or disappointments or grief or anger will get the best of us. But we always want to be cheerful as possible, okay? And be as positive as possible. This is how we get along with one another, focusing on the positive. Keep an open mind on all debatable questions. Discuss, but don't argue. It's a mark of a superior mind to disagree and remain friendly. Okay? So say me must have a brilliant mind because there's so much people that I do not agree with. But I doesn't let it turn into an enemy state. Okay? I respect differences of opinion. Okay? And keep the camaraderie. Okay? Everyone is not going to agree. But it is a high level of intelligence if we are able to still get along amongst one another, even when we don't see eye to eye. Okay? Let your virtues speak for themselves and refuse to discuss the shortcomings of others. Discourage gossip by changing the subject. Okay? This is a serious one. There's enough things to talk about. Enough people to talk about. Enough things that you look on and say, okay? But we want to keep the gossip to a minimal, okay? Because it does impact our health. It is a low frequency and it brings the energy down, okay? And it is not conducive to getting along with people when we carry up gossip. Have a respect for the feelings of others. Wit and humor at the expense of a friend is never worth it, okay? So have a respect for others people's feelings. A lot of times what I see in this world, like I did say previously, is people are very self-centered, okay? So as long as they feel it doesn't affect them not really care. But that is the wrong way. We need to care about other people's feelings. We need to care about how other people are getting along. We need to care if we did hurt someone's feelings along the way. Okay, this is all part of creating a better world. Okay, give me 1 second. Jaja. 1 second, coming. Okay. Pay no attention to destructive remarks and personal attacks on you. Live so that no one will believe them. Remember, a common cause of backbiting is a dissatisfaction with oneself. Okay? So pay no attention to destructive remarks and personal attacks on you. Live so that no one will believe them. Isn't that a peaceful and healthy life? Okay? If we respond to what others think about us and say about us that may be negative, doesn't that bring our energy down? Doesn't that bring our vibration down? So we want to live up. We want to live up as if we don't hear, we don't see any negativity, okay? We don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on the positive. This way we improve our quality of life, and we help to improve the quality of life for the people around us, because energy transfers. You understand? Okay. Okay. Don't be concerned about your just due. Do a good turn for the sake of being helpful. Okay? Nothing gives me greater joy than just being of service and helping people. Okay? I don't want anything in return. But what I do know is how the universe works. And once you help a next person, it always has to full circle, okay? So every good act that you do on the planet, it has to full circle, okay? So we don't need to watch everything we do for someone else, and things are so transactional. I did for you, so you do for me. No, we don't need to live this way. We just need to do good just because we are able to do good, okay? And this lifts up the vibration of you and the vibration of the people around you, and in essence, the planet as a whole, okay? We do not always need something in return, okay? And this puts me in mind of a friend that I had for such a long time, and we are no longer friends because this particular friend was counting what they did for me and what I did for them, and they started to get, what's the word? They started to get resentful, okay, because they felt that they were doing more for me than I was for them. But I never knew they were thinking in this way, okay, because I don't think like this. So it was absolutely impacting their well-being and their health, because they were sitting there taking count. And now you're upset because your math didn't come together. Well, you just put a problem on yourself, because you should have never been doing no math in the first place. So that's your problem, not mine own. I'm not going to make that my problem, okay? And we're no longer friends no more because me can't really operate that way. You see me? And so much people in this world, this is how they operate. And a bare disappointment y'all bring on yourself. Once you're transactional and everything is tit for tat, and if you do something, somebody have to return it. So let's just do good for the sake of doing good in this world, okay? Because your real payment comes from Jah. All right. So getting along with people, because I know most people, we have to go work, we have to deal with people, you know? And I hear so much people say, the job is not hard, it's just getting along with people. That's what makes the job hard. Okay? And over time, this can cause stress on the body. This can cause problems. This can lower your frequency, okay? And you're not feeling so good, okay? Over time. So we want to alleviate that, and we want to make it easier for us to get along. in this world. Why? Because it improves the quality of our life, it improves our health. Okay? Okay, let's see. That was really, really good. I love that so much. Let's see. Let's read a next one. Maybe Jah wants us to meet a few wrong people before meeting the right one, so that when we finally meet the right person, we will know how to be grateful for that gift. When the door of happiness closes, another opens. But oftentimes we look so long at the closed door that we don't see the one which has been opened for us. The best kind of friend is the kind you can sit on a porch and swing with, never say a word, and then walk away feeling like it was the best conversation you've ever had. It's true that we don't know what we've got until we lose it, but it's also true that we don't know what we've been missing until it arrives. Giving someone all your love is never an assurance that they'll love you back. Don't expect love in return. Just wait for it to grow in their heart. But if it doesn't, be content it grows in yours. It takes only a minute to get a crush on someone, an hour to like someone, and a day to love someone. But it takes a lifetime to forget someone. Don't go for looks. They can deceive. Don't go for wealth. Even that fades away. Go for someone who makes you smile, because it takes only a smile to make a dark day seem bright. Find the one that makes your heart smile. There are moments in life when you miss someone so much that you just want to pick them from your dreams and hug them for real. Dream what you want to dream. Go where you want to go. Be what you want to be, because you have only one life and one chance to do all the things you want to do. May you have enough happiness to make you sweet, enough trials to make you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, enough hope to make you happy. Always put yourself in others' shoes. If you feel that it hurts you, it probably hurts the other person too. The happiest of people don't necessarily have the best of everything. They just make the most of everything that comes along their way. Happiness lives for those who cry, those who hurt, those who have searched, and those who have tried. For only they can appreciate the importance of people who have touched their lives. Love begins with a smile, grows with a kiss, and ends with a tear. The brightest future will always be based on a forgotten past. You can't go on well in life until you let go of your past failures and heartaches. When you were born, you were crying, and everyone around you was smiling. Live your life so that when you die, you're the one who is smiling and everyone around you is crying. Beautiful. Let's read this one. Attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearances or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude. Powerful. Okay, so we're going to read this last one. Give thanks to everyone who's been here today with me on episode 3 of Crown Conversations here with Songs Lair. I'm April E. Diggs, master cosmetologist, trichologist, and naturopath consultant. Today on episode 3 of Crown Conversations, we did discuss cleansing and detoxing, how this pertains to hair health. We discussed the colon, the kidney, the liver, and the spleen, okay? And how all of this ties in to issues with the hair, okay? And how cleansing and detoxing not only aid in physical health, but also help with our mental health as well, okay? So we're getting ready to wrap up this live for today. Again, if you have any questions as it pertains to your hair and your health, please feel free to DM me, or you can simply go to the link in my bio to book a one-on-one consultation. Okay, and also these are wonderful products here from the Return to Anagen product line, designed for persons who are experiencing hair loss, thinning, scalp diseases, and scalp disorders. Okay. So on our next episode, we are going to be discussing the digestive system. Okay, we need to understand how the digestive system works, and if the digestive system is out of balance, how this will impact our hair health and scalp health over time. Okay, so our next live, we will be covering the entire digestive system. Okay, so in episode 1 of Crown Conversations, we did discuss the nervous system. In episode 2 of Crown Conversations, we discussed the hormonal system, the glandular system, okay, the endocrine system, okay, and this is episode 3 of Crown Conversations, and we did discuss cleansing and detoxing, which is foundational in any healing program. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close out for today. I'm going to leave you with this last reading here. Okay, I now move beyond the threshold of my past limitations. I now move beyond fear, lack, self-loathing, bad relationships, disease in my body, vicious family cycles, and stifling patterns. I now move beyond everyone and everything that has ever caused me to doubt me and all that I am. I give myself permission to forgive and release every person, place, and thing that is standing between me and my higher good. I give myself permission to be free, to give and receive, to love and be loved, to live my reality and trust myself fully and completely. I give myself permission to experience prosperity and abundance as I never have before. I give myself permission to love my body, mind, and spirit exactly as it is. I reclaim my life, release all limitations, and step boldly into my authentic life and the true essence of who I am. I allow my voice to come forward and speak the truth as I see it. I allow myself to dance and move in my truth and to live fully and completely present in my life. It is done, and so it is. Ashe. I love myself. Okay, that is so wonderful and beautiful. Okay, when we fill ourselves up with these positive words sound power, positive affirmations, reminding ourselves of the truth of who we are, allowing ourselves to be in the totality of I am. Okay, this is all part of a healthy lifestyle. Health begins as an individual and it ripples out like a ripple effect, okay? Energy absolutely does transfer. So we want to focus on ourselves. And essence, when we better ourselves, we are helping to better persons around us. In essence, bettering the vibration and frequency of the planet as a whole, okay? So bless up everyone. It's been exceptional to be here with you today. It's so exceptional to discuss these magnificent bodies, how they work, and to educate you on how to have a better health, okay, holistically, okay? Give me just one moment. Look at the sky, it's the color of love. There must have been an angel by my side. Something heavenly came down from above. Okay, so give thanks for everyone who's been here today. It's been great to be here with you. Okay, on this episode, third episode of Crown Conversations. Like I did say, if you have any questions regarding your hair and your health, please feel free to reach out. Okay, I'll be happy to assist you. Okay, if you're experiencing hair loss, thinning, scalp disorders, scalp diseases, you don't know what to do. Okay, please reach out. I will be more than happy to assist you with my years of expertise in this particular area. Okay, again, I am a product developer. This is the Return to Anagen product line, specially formulated products designed for persons experiencing hair loss, scalp diseases, and scalp disorders. Also for persons who have natural hair and locks. Okay, all right, so I hope that you will join me again. Make sure that you do follow and join me again for episode 4 of Crown Conversations with Songs Lair. In our next Crown Conversations, we will be discussing the digestive system. We're going to go through all of the body systems so we can educate ourselves on our body and we can start to connect the dots of what our hair and scalp is telling us about our inner health, okay? Once we finish the body systems, then we will go into the different scalp issues, okay? The different forms of alopecias, the different forms of psoriasis and dermatitis, okay? We will dissect all of these so that you can fully understand what is the difference between these and what may be affecting you, okay? Okay, so thank you once again. Give thanks, okay? And I pray for everyone, as we say here at Songs There, be whole, be healed, be blessed, and be well, okay? That is what we want for everyone, okay? So I look to see you again on the next episode of Crown Conversations. And like I did say, these lives will be sporadic because I am operating a practice here, okay? So it would be good if you follow so that you won't miss the lives, okay? Because I don't have a set schedule for the lives as of yet. And if you do miss the live, you can see it in its totality on my YouTube channel at Songs There Health Trichology Beauty, okay? So bless up everyone, and I hope to see you again on the next episode of Crown Conversations, okay? Be whole, be healed, be blessed, and be well.